Our host today, Emily Thompson.
Hi, you beautiful angels. Oh my gosh. Hi, Kevin. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, Kelly. Hi, Jamie. I'm so happy to see all of you. Let's dance, shall we? Let's get in our bodies. Who said that attracting abundance had to be boring? Not me. As a matter of fact, I think the better we feel, the more abundance we attract. Let's move. I'm gonna crank that music. I'm so happy to see all of your beautiful faces. Yes, hi Vanessa. Hi Steven. Tracy. Yes.
Go Kai, go Vanessa, get your bodies moving.
Just taking a big deep breath into your heart. Exhaling and letting go of your day, letting go of your money worries, making space for more knowledge, more abundance. Hi, Yasmin. I'm so happy to see you. Yes. Wait, where'd you learn your dance moves? Come on now. Yes, Lisa's joining us from New York City. We've got someone from Kuwait. That's cool. Christian's gonna put some pants on for us. Thank you, Christian. It's not that kind of a dance party. Hi, Deirdre. Hi, Patrick. Y'all are so smart for joining live today. We have got some real goodness in store. My prayer is that you get so much value out of this class, even in this short time together, that you leave with tools to up-level your relationship with abundance itself. We're gonna start with an opening ceremony. So if you have a candle handy, I would dance your way over to your candle. Maybe dance your way over to a journal and something to write with. You want to take notes. And if this is your 6, what does your 11 look like? Yeah. Yes. Oh my gosh, y'all are my people. I love you so much. Dancing is one of the most effective ways to change your whole mood. All right, really beautiful. One hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. Taking a big deep breath in, exhaling on the sound of the sound of God. Really good. Taking another big breath into your heart. And as you exhale, I want you to send some love to every other person tuning in. We have almost 1,000 people here from all over the world and some people tuning in live on YouTube. So just sending some love to all these amazing meditators, all these amazing soon-to-be meditators who are ready to receive some ancient wisdom to attract abundance. Dropping 2 beautiful chords down into the core of the planet, activating your crown, your halo, your cosmic antenna so that you can receive all of this beautiful ancient wisdom. And just taking a moment to set your intention for our time together. How would you love to leave this session? How would you love to feel? What would you love to learn? How would you love your relationship with abundance to feel at the end of this? Really, really good. And when you're feeling ready, you can take a seat. Caroline can let us know where everyone is tuning in from. It's always so fun. I don't think we've ever had anyone from Kuwait before.
No, that's a first. We have somebody tuning in from Sydney. Oh my gosh, it's like the middle of the night for you. Thank you for
God
being
bless you.
Toronto, Germany.
Wait, Sabrina's from
Estonia.
Tallahassee, Florida. That's my hometown. Yes. Norway. So cool.
Egypt, Hawaii.
Well, truly, I am so outrageously grateful to have every single one of you here. And I really do think you're really smart for showing up live today. I think that the teachings, the thing about the Vedas is that they really do flow through based on the state of the consciousness of the people who are here. So just your presence, your questions in the comment, the more interactive this can be, the more it will open up the channel and allow this beautiful Vedic knowledge to flow through. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start with a puja ceremony. So puja, P-U-J-A, is a Sanskrit word that means offering, and it's an opportunity to offer gratitude. And I think that gratitude is a really fast track to abundance. The more of a frequency of gratitude we can be in for what we have, the more we start to attract. But this particular puja ceremony is designed to offer gratitude to the specific tradition, the specific lineage of teachers who have kept not only the meditation portion of Ziva meditation alive, but also these beautiful ancient teachings from the Vedas. So anytime I initiate someone into these practices, anytime I teach them this ancient knowledge, I like to start with a puja ceremony to give thanks, to ready our bodies, and also to purify the space. So you can imagine the puja ceremony is happening live in your own room. Also, we're going to do something really cool today that, so I'll be doing this as an opportunity to invoke the state of consciousness of my teachers so they can be alive in the space with us. But I'm going to invite you to give thanks to any teachers that you have in your life. But more importantly, I want you to tune into the version of you that already has the abundance that you desire. I'm going to say that again. When I do this puja ceremony in just a few minutes, I want you to feel into the version of you, that future you that has already attracted the abundance that you desire. Because the reality is that version of you already exists. And in this ceremony, it's an opportunity to tune into that and to let that future you and this present you merge, because that is the thing that's going to attract the abundance. It's almost like you could interview them. You can tune into what aspects of me get dialed up? What aspects of me get dialed down? Who do I need to evolve into to be a vibrational match for the abundance that I desire? Who do I need to alchemize myself into to be in a state of receptivity and into a state of gratitude for all of the abundance that I already have? So we're going to start with a ceremony in just a moment. We're going to end with a really powerful activation to help you to identify and rewire any limiting beliefs, any subconscious beliefs that might be keeping you from attracting the abundance that you desire. And then in between, you're going to have a really special opportunity to join me for one of the most profound, one of the most advanced courses that we've ever created at Ziva. It's called Moving into Mastery. And I'm going to share how you can join for that if it feels charming. Okay, so if you have your candle, I would go ahead and grab that. And before we do the ceremony, I just want to share a little overview of what we're going to do today. So in addition to, ceremony and then ending with the activation, I'm going to be sharing 3 of my favorite concepts on attracting abundance. And these are concepts from the Vedas. The first is the power of tithing, right? And we're going to talk about how important it is to both have an outflow and an inflow. We're going to talk about the neuroscience of giving and receiving. We're going to get a little wild, a little weird. I'm going to talk about ancient goddess archetypes and how, in a beautiful story from the Vedas about Saraswati and Lakshmi, and how working with goddess archetypes can change your relationship with abundance. And then finally, I'm going to share about the law of reversibility. And this is a really fun chance for me to geek out and kind of merge my knowledge of the Vedas with my knowledge of quantum physics and see how they're actually saying the same thing, but in different ways. So the law of reversibility is going to kind of merge this Vedic concept, which is there's only one thing and we're all it, and the idea of how particles can exist in 2 places at one time. And this is all going to be in the law of reversibility. And then again, at the very end, I'm going to do an activation that's going to help you to rewire any limiting beliefs that you have around abundance. So I would make sure that you can stick around until the end. And I do plan this will be at least a full 2 hours, just so that you can, set your schedules accordingly. And if you need to bounce, no stress, there will be a replay. But for those of you who are here live, there's a really special bonus I'll be talking about in a moment. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and light our candles and let's get ready for our ceremony. So again, while we do this, you can give thanks to any teachers that you want to give thanks to. And I really invite you to tune into the version of you that has already attracted abundance, the version of you that is already in a state of consciousness that is a vibrational match for the abundance that you desire. So you can go ahead, close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, exhaling, really allowing yourself to arrive fully here. It'll just be a few minutes. This is a beautiful ceremony. It's in Sanskrit, which is one of the oldest languages on the planet. Sanskrit is onomatopoetic, which means that it is expressive of the sounds of nature. And in it, I'll be naming some of the teachers from this lineage. I'll be invoking their state of consciousness. The idea here is, again, that we're purifying our bodies, purifying the space, so that we can receive this knowledge, so that I can help to be a better vessel to transmit this knowledge. And my only invitation to you is right now, just really take a moment to think about the most abundant version of you. Like if you had a magic wand and you could wave it over your life, over your bank account, over your home, over your kitchen, your food, your time, and you felt so wildly abundant, not just in money, but in every aspect of your life. What does that look like? What does that feel like? And then more importantly, I want you to tune into the version of you that has already attracted that. Like feeling that confidence, that trust in yourself, that trust in nature, feeling that receptivity, that openness. What stories have you shed? What inherited ancestral stories have you let go of? And almost like you could see that version sitting 3 feet across from you, that future you, thanking them, celebrating them. And as I do this ceremony, just opening up your heart and connecting with that future you. So you can go ahead and close your eyes. Apavitra pavitro va sarva vastanga topiva yasmarit pundari kaksham sabaya pyantara shuchi avahanam narayanam padmabhavam vasishtam shaktim chatatputra parasharam cha vyasam shagam goda padam mahantam govinda yogindra matasya shisham Shri Shankaracharya Matasya Padma Padam Chahastam Alakam Chashishyam Tam Trotakam Vatikakada Manyan Asmad Gurunsan Tatamanatosmi Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat Param Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badrayanam Sutra Basya Krito Vande Bhagavanto Puna Puna Yadvare Nikilani Limpa Parishad Siddhim Vidate Nisham Srimat Shilasitam Jagat Guru Param Natvatmaha Triptingata Loka Jnana Payora Patanduram Sri Shankaram Shamaram Brahmananda Sarasvatim Guruvaram Te Ayami Jyotirmayam Avahanam Samarapyami Shri Guru Chran Kamle Pyo Namaha Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnur Guru Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Akhanda Mandala Karam Vyaptam Yena Characharam Tatparam Darshitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Brahmanandam Param Sukaram Kevalam Gyan Muritim Vishvatitam Gagan Sadrisham Tatvamasya Harilakshyam Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvede Sakshi Bhutam Bhavatitam Triguna Sakitam Satgurum Tam Namami Agyan Timirandasya Gyananjan Shalakaya Chakshu Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Pushpanjalim Smarapyami Shri Guru Chran Kamle Pyo Namaha Jai Gurudev. So taking a big breath into your heart, exhaling and thanking this future version of you, this outrageously abundant version of you, and letting this present you and future you merge. So that even already we are starting to become more of a vibrational match for that which we desire. Really, really good. So, when you're ready, you can slowly open the eyes. And again, I want to say thank you for being here. I really I love teaching this knowledge. I love seeing your faces. I feel so outrageously grateful. I personally feel very abundant right now that I get to do exactly what I love, exactly with who I love. So I'm going to give you some tips on how you can get the most out of today's free class. And my biggest tip for you is that even though we're not live in the room together, to treat it as if we are. That close down on the other windows, close down your Instagram, and really allow this wisdom to wash over you. Allow it to be received into all of your cells. There's no test, but I recommend receiving it through your left brain and your right brain simultaneously. And some of you might receive everything that you need in this free class. And if that is the case, then beautiful. But some of you are going to be ready for a total life upgrade. Some of you are going to want to drink from the well of this knowledge. You're like, oh my gosh, this feels like coming home. I want to dive deeper. And so I do just want to give you a heads up that we just opened enrollment for moving into mastery. And those of you who are curious about exactly what it is, those of you who have already been on the wait list that have been looking forward to this day, you can check things out at zivameditation.com/mastery. And anyone that enrolls during our time together, you're going to get a really special bonus, something I've been working on since January that I'm very, very proud of, that actually is going to allow you to become a magnet for money while you sleep. I basically made the thing that I personally wanted. And then I do want you to make sure you can stick around until the end, because that's where we're going to do the activation. It's going to allow us to name the limiting beliefs, the subconscious blocks that might be mistakenly repelling us from the abundance that we desire. Okay, so with that, let's dive in. I'm going to share my slides here. Here we go. Okay, can you see my slides? Just give me a thumbs up if you can see that. Okay, so this class is called Ancient Wisdom to Attract Abundance. So first, let's define, what do I mean when I say abundance? So yes, of course, it can relate to money. And a lot of this class is directly designed to help you up-level your relationship with money. But abundance, true abundance, is so much bigger than money, right? It has to do with you knowing how to feel safe in your body, how to celebrate what you already have. It's trusting that your needs have actually always been met and will always be met. Abundance is about getting into flow with nature, about understanding the laws of nature and learning how to really trust nature because you trust yourself. Right? And I really believe that the more we trust ourselves, the more we trust nature. The more we trust nature, the more we trust ourselves. And by the way, when I say nature, that's like my word for the universe. That's my word for God. And I would say, according to the Vedas, there's only one thing, and we're all it. And that one thing is consciousness. That one thing is energy. And I sort of refer to that as nature. Okay, so now that we've defined abundance, what does ancient wisdom mean? So obviously there's many different lineages. There's lots of different ancient civilizations to learn from. But the body of knowledge that I personally have fallen deeply in love with is from India, ancient India, or now geographically it would be Pakistan, and it's called the Vedas. So what are the Vedas? So Veda, V-E-D-A, it's a Sanskrit word that means knowledge. Knowledge of what? Knowledge of nature. Basically, you can think of the Vedas as a beautiful human interpretation of the laws of nature, and actually feng shui, acupuncture, meditation, specifically what I teach at Ziva, and even Ayurveda, these all come from the Vedas. Now, these ancient philosophies have stood the test of time because they give us a way to understand the laws of nature that are unchanging, right? Like gravity is gravity no matter what. Gravity doesn't care if we're using cryptocurrency or what's happening with AI or the newest social media trends. Gravity is just gravity, right? Like it's a law of nature. And similarly, there are laws of nature that allow us to attract or repel the things that we desire. And so these ancient laws, they can help us to upgrade our decision-making matrix and give us a North Star in a world that is changing faster and faster. So speaking of changes, about 16 years ago, my life completely changed. So as many of you know, I left my successful career on Broadway after learning to meditate, because meditation up-leveled my life and my performance so dramatically that I was like, why isn't everyone doing this? So I left Broadway and I went to India to discover the source of this knowledge. And I then fell so deeply in love that I dove headfirst into Vedic philosophy. And to be honest, at the time I had very little disposable income. And that is a far cry from where I am today. And yet, I mean, I'm talking like I think I don't know if I was in a Broadway show or if I was in between Broadway shows, but I was taking home somewhere between $500 and $600 a week. And living in New York City, that's equivalent of about $300 to $400 a week. I was living in a 6th-floor walk-up. I was buying my groceries at a bodega. So I certainly was not, all my needs were being met, but I was very much hand to mouth. I was paycheck to paycheck. And yet I was investing so many of my resources towards devouring this knowledge. Like I could not drink it fast enough. It felt like coming home. It brought more ease. It brought more direction. It brought more clarity into my life. And so now I want to check in with you. Like, who would love to have more ease in your life? Who would love to feel this like internal compass, to have more direction, more clarity on your life right now? If that is you, just give me an amen. Yes. Oh my gosh, I love you, Gail. Gail's like, yes, me. Just let me know in the comments, like, what are you looking to call in? Yes, beautiful. Okay, let me just, I'm going so fast. I gotta just, yes, amen, amen. Okay. And specifically, what are you looking to call in? Like if you had to choose between like clarity, direction, changing your relationship with abundance or abundance itself. Oh, yes, your creative voice, clarity, money, aligned action, direction, ease. Okay, space, amen to space. So beautiful. Okay, so I will say that for me, discovering these ancient philosophies, like it answered the questions that I have been asking my whole life. Like, what is my unique purpose? How can I live the most lit up, amazing life of my dreams? Why have I been given these particular gifts? Not everyone is a great tap dancer. I'm a great tap dancer. Like, how can I use tap dancing to create a life of wild abundance? How can I be of highest service in such a tumultuous time on earth? So I found these answers inside of the Vedas, and I feel like this is what we all wish that we had learned in school. Like how to live on purpose, how to be in flow with money, how to feel amazing in your body, all while making the world a better place and having a great time doing it, right? Like this is our mission at Ziva. So I would say that the knowledge in the Vedas has fundamentally reshaped how I see myself, how I see the world, and how I consciously create my life and deliver my fulfillment to the world. I have spent basically my entire adult life committed to studying, researching, and experimenting with ways to get better and better at life. And now my intention, both inside of this class today and inside of moving into mastery, is to share my decades of study in the most entertaining and valuable way that I know how. So now some of you might be wondering, like, if the Vedas are so amazing, like, why haven't I heard more about them? Like, can I just buy a book on the Vedas, or can I just take a course somewhere else? Like, if they're so great, why isn't everyone talking about them? And the reality is you can find books on the Vedas, you can take courses on them. But in my personal experience, the offerings that I found have not captured the full potential of these teachings. I actually did enroll in a Vedic studies course at Oxford, and I feel embarrassed to say this, but it was like one of the most boring experiences of my life. It was solely an academic course with none of the direct transmission, with none of the spirit or magic in it. And historically, the main way that this knowledge has been transferred has been orally, like from teacher to student. And yes, again, there are books written on the Vedas, but the way that I was taught is that the knowledge flows through based not only on the state of consciousness of the teacher, but on the state of consciousness of the people who are receiving the knowledge. It is this, the Vedas are a living, breathing body of knowledge. And so my analogy for this is, let's imagine that like a golden retriever was reading the Bible. Like, what do you think the golden retriever is going to see? Right? Like probably just some like black squiggly lines on a white piece of paper. But imagine that a preacher is reading the Bible. They might see like a love story and a manual and like there might be like a riveting adventure novel for them. And I feel like that the same is true of the Vedas. If you try to give exclusively an academic study of them, then it falls flat. If you try to teach a group of people who are not interested, then it falls flat. If you have a teacher who has not done the work of de-stressing their nervous system to make space for the transmission, then it falls flat. But wow, like truly, wow. When you have the right combination of academia and spirit, when the teachings are being inspired by worthy inquiry, when you have someone who is so enamored by the ancient philosophies and stories, then the ripples of impact of this knowledge can have on your life, not only while you take the course, but for the rest of your life, cannot be overstated. Like I have students who find me after years of discovering the Vedas, and they are on a wildly more abundant life path as a result of letting this knowledge permeate them. Okay, so with that, let's dive on in. That's enough of talking about the Vedas. Let's actually jump in. So the first thing I want to share is something I learned that has dramatically impacted my financial success at Ziva and our ability to create impact in the world. And it's based on one of the simplest and most profound truths. So here it is. If you want to create more inflow, you first need to create an outflow. I'm going to say that again. If you want more inflow in your life, then it might feel scary, it might feel hard, it might feel paradoxical, but you first have to create an outflow. And this is tricky, right? It might feel counterintuitive because when we are in times of scarcity, when we're in times of inflation, when we are in times of uncertainty around money, I won't say it's our instinct, but our habit, what we've been trained, what we've been conditioned to do is to contract, to hoard, to get into fear because we don't feel safe. Right? We've all bought into the story that like our safety comes from money. And so paradoxically, when we're feeling that contraction, can we open up? Can we find generosity? Can we find that safety inside of our own nervous systems? Can we choose to trust? And can we choose to be of service and to create an outflow? So money is energy. It wants to flow. And it is stress and fear and lack that keeps us in hoarding mode. And while this is not ancient wisdom, this is one of my favorite quotes from the musical Hello, Dolly. And this is what you can expect from me. Just a really good mix of like ancient wisdom and some good musical theater. So money, pardon the expression, is like manure. It is not worth a thing unless it's spread around, encouraging young things to grow. Right? Like if you got a pile of shit sitting around, it just stinks and it's not doing any good. But if you spread that around and put it on your garden, you can grow new things. And the same is true of money. I mean, look at the fucking world economy right now. It is like 10 people that have more than 50% of the money on the planet. And don't fact check me on that, or do fact check me on that. Don't quote me on that. I might not be exactly correct, but you get what I mean. There's like a few very rich people that have more than 50% of the resources on the planet right now. And that, my friends, is a result of stress, fear, greed, and lack. We do not have a shortage of abundance on the planet. We have a shortage of outflow. We have a shortage of reciprocity and reciprocal economy on the planet. So I think one of the antidotes to this is tithing. Now, I don't mean just mindlessly giving 10% of your money to a particular organization, but I mean, what if you were to dedicate 10% of your earnings to spreading your resources to things that you want to grow? So for me, even in the lean years, even when I started Ziva and I was paying more in taxes than I had in my savings account. I mean, I'm talking, I was working 60, 70 hours a week. And like my tax bill would come and I'd be like, wait, the tax bill is $60,000 and I have $40,000 in the business bank account. What am I supposed to do? Like when I was in those moments, even in that state of fear, I was still giving 10% of our earnings to charity. And so for me, you're like, wait, but there was no money there. But you know what I mean? It's like you pay the taxes and then you get more money. From April to December, there's some money there by the end of the year. But for me, I tend to donate to environmental organizations and to humanitarian aid. But there's no right or wrong way to do this. Like one of our mastery students, she shared actually on our podcast that her tithing paid for her friend's pet bills. And after she paid for her friend's pet bills, the next week, she got back double the amount that she gave for the pet bills. And interestingly, neurochemically, what happens in your brain when you give is the exact same thing as when you receive. I learned this from my friend Blue, that if you give something, you're activating the same neurochemicals as if you were to receive a gift. And I think that's one of the reasons why tithing works. Because even though you're giving, it's like you're activating that state of like, oh, I also can receive. I've had other students send a Venmo to their favorite artist on Spotify. Because like, think about it. You pay like $7 to Spotify and you have just infinite music available to you. Artists who have dedicated their entire lives to creating music. You might listen to a song 1,000 times and yet that artist isn't seeing that money. So I've had artists, friends or students reach out to those artists and Venmo them. I've had friends give money to an author. Like when a $20 book made them $300,000 and they wanted to say thank you, or a $2,000 course that they took made them over $500,000, they would tithe some of that money to the teacher. So one of my favorite money rules is that you always want to pay the value of something. You always want to pay the value of something. And that does not mean that you're paying the sticker price, okay? But that you want the energetic exchange to be equal so that you don't create a karmic debt. For example, I wore these earrings today because these earrings were given to me. I spoke at a conference in Colombia, and this amazing artisan, she handmade these earrings, and they were, I don't remember, I think they cost like $50 or $60, and she gifted them to me. And I could have paid her the money. I mean, she wanted to gift them to me, but instead I posted about her on social media and I posted links because I thought that her having access to 200,000 people on Instagram would likely give her more value than the $60 that I could have paid for the earrings. So it's not about like paying full retail, right? It's about how can I create an even energetic exchange so that you aren't accidentally creating a karmic debt in either direction, by the way. Okay? You don't want to over give and you don't want to over receive, but we'll talk more about that in a minute. Okay, so are you ready to get a little bit weird? Are you ready to get a little bit more hippy dippy? Okay, yep, Signy's ready. Okay, so I want to share about how goddess archetypes can influence your relationship with money. I want to share a really beautiful story that helped me a lot. So one of the most helpful concepts from the Vedas I found is the story of Lakshmi and Saraswati. So I'm curious, has anyone heard of Lakshmi or Saraswati? Just give me a yes in the comments. Yep, feel like let's get weird. Lakshmi baby, that's what I'm here for. Okay, so Lakshmi is the goddess of abundance. She represents wealth. She represents prosperity and fortune as long as that prosperity is gained through creating value and not war. Okay, so Lakshmi is not about just like raping and pillaging and taking other people's money. Lakshmi is about how can I create in the world and then receive abundance. Her main symbol is the lotus flower. You'll see her here. This is Lakshmi. So she's sitting on top of the lotus flower. You can see these gold coins pouring through. Notice that is money coming out of her hands. That is an outflow that is being created. So she's sitting on a lotus flower, which blooms atop of the water, but that lotus flower is rooted in depth, which is revealing her connection to her spiritual growth. And then we have Saraswati, who is the goddess of knowledge. She's associated with wisdom, with music, with art, and with learning. So before I continue, I do just want to back it up a little bit and say that in the Vedas, these archetypes, all of the gods and goddesses that you hear about, like people will say like, oh, this is like polytheism, or you're like worshiping other gods and goddesses. And I just want to make a nuanced but important distinction there, is that again, according to the Vedas, there is only one thing and we are all it, and that one thing is consciousness. So Lakshmi is not outside of you. Saraswati is not outside of you. Lakshmi is representative of the piece of you that attracts abundance. Saraswati is representative of the piece of you that is in charge of knowledge and spiritual growth, right? So even like Shiva, right? Shiva is not like the god of destruction. Shiva is representative of the piece of you that destroys irrelevancy. So I think it's an important distinction because I don't want us to get into the idea that we're giving our power away. Like, oh, if I can just devote all of my time and energy to worshiping Lakshmi, this thing outside of myself, then I will create abundance. It's like, no, we put our attention on Lakshmi to activate those pieces of ourselves, to turn up the dial of ourselves. Because again, according to the Vedas, there's only one thing and we're all it. Okay, so now I want to share this story now that we've backed that up. So the story is that if you want more of Lakshmi's attention, right? And I'll say that Lakshmi, like in the archetype, is that she's like really beautiful, right? Like wearing gold, wearing beautiful gowns, wearing jewelry. I mean, look at all these necklaces that she has, like just like draped in like jewels. And like, this might seem a little reductive, but I received this with love. I've heard Lakshmi described as like a hot trophy wife, that she like wants to be taken out on the town. She wants to be paraded. She wants to be like shown off. She wants to flow. She does not want to be kept away in a room by herself. So the idea is that if you want more of Lakshmi's attention, put your attention on Saraswati. Put your attention on Saraswati and Lakshmi gets jealous. So what does that mean? It means become an expert in something. It means put your attention on wisdom, put your attention on gaining a skill, put your attention on how you can create more value in the world. And that, in so doing, and you put your attention on wisdom, you start to naturally attract more of Lakshmi's attention. You start to receive more abundance because you have become an expert in something. So again, these are just like fun stories. Anytime you're working with archetypes, I like to think of them as ways to anthropomorphize or humanize these sort of bigger esoteric concepts. So put your attention on Saraswati, and then Lakshmi gets jealous. So become an expert in something, and then more abundance will flow. And this doesn't mean that you have to single focus. It doesn't mean you need to dedicate yourself to something. It doesn't mean you need to like suffer in order to create money. It means that, but it does, I like this. So it does mean that you need to dedicate yourself to something for long enough to where you can provide more value than AI, right? Then you have a way to create value for others. And then the next step is making sure that you've created ways to capture that value. And y'all, this is a very key takeaway. We want to create value and capture value, ideally in equal measure, right? I see so many well-intentioned people, especially spiritual people, who are more than happy to study their whole lives, to offer wisdom, to offer healings to people, but they don't have a way for people to reciprocate. They don't have a way for people to pay that back. Oftentimes they even repel the money because they judge the money as bad, or as having money is not spiritual. Now, of course, being motivated exclusively by money means that we're operating from fear and lack. Obviously, over-hoarding resources is not it either. But no tool is inherently good or bad, right? It's how we use it. Think of nuclear energy, right? Like nuclear energy could kill an entire civilization, or it can be one of the cleanest, most cost-effective ways to power the planet. It all depends on the intention and the execution. And the same is true of money. It's a tool, it is neutral, it is energy. It can do enormous good or harm. But really, it's the state of consciousness of the person using it that matters, which is why I am so motivated to get meditators rich. Yes, I want all of you who are here today, especially all of you who have already done Ziva Online, all of you who are already meditating and getting your buns to the chair every day, twice a day, the ones that are up-leveling your consciousness, I want y'all to be the ones that are moving real money around the planet. And this is why I created the bonus that you're going to get today if you enroll in Moving into Mastery. This thing is basically designed to help you rewire any limiting beliefs around money while you sleep. More on that in a minute. Okay, so third teaching for today is the law of reversibility. So what is the law of reversibility? It suggests that if a circumstance can produce a feeling, then a feeling can produce a circumstance. Now we're gonna go deep here, right? So take a breath, saddle up, like we're going in, all right? If a circumstance can produce a feeling, then a feeling can produce a circumstance. Now a great way to illustrate this is with a metaphor, right? I would say that if I'm known for anything, it's my analogies and my metaphors, okay? So we all know that water can turn into steam. And if you reverse that, steam can also turn into water. Water and steam are the same thing, but vibrating at different frequencies. Steam is water with more heat, so it has a faster vibration. Now, similarly, if a circumstance can produce a feeling, then a feeling can produce a circumstance. Also, mass can turn into energy, and energy can turn into mass. Mass can turn into energy, and energy can turn into mass. So thoughts, right? The thoughts that we're thinking, these are waves, and those waves carry both frequency and energy. Now here's the thing, mass, like 3D matter, mass is bound by space and time, but the waves, they exist everywhere. The waves exist beyond space and time. So if you can think of your desire, right? Because remember that thoughts are waves. And if you can think of your desire, then it already exists in another dimension in the quantum field. It just doesn't have mass yet. So I'm gonna keep breaking this down. So if you're feeling a little lost, just stay with me. All waves exist in the quantum field. And your mind has the ability to pick up on the frequency of your dream. Y'all know I always say that your dreams are divinely inspired. Right? Your dreams are divinely inspired. And what I mean when I say that is that the dream is already existing in the quantum field. And then your thoughts are picking up on the frequency of the dream. And since thoughts are waves, they determine what reality you live in. You are giving your thoughts energy through your emotion. So the trick here is, how do we align our vibration to the frequency of our desire? How do we align our vibration to the frequency of our desires? We want to place our attention and our emotions on the things that we want to magnetize. And when we do this, we start to give them more weight. We start to give them more mass. So I'm going to break this down. I'm going to say it a few different ways. So again, if you can think of your desire, then that desire already exists in the quantum field. Another way of saying this is that if you have the desire for more abundance, then this already exists in some timeline. Now, I personally believe that abundance is a vibration. It's not a destination. Like, I have plenty of very wealthy clients. I have plenty of billionaire clients who are very stressed out about money, despite the fact that they are literal billionaires, okay? So it's not the amount of zeros that you have in your bank account. It is the vibration that is happening in your body. I believe that abundance is a vibration, not a destination. Similarly, I believe that heaven is a vibration. It is not a destination. So if you believe that abundance is a vibration and not a destination, and if you are willing to get out of the paradigm of I'll be happy when I have more money, right? This is what I call the I'll be happy when I have more money syndrome. Then the antidote to that is giving yourself the gift of experiencing abundance right here, right now, allowing your body to vibrate at the frequency of your version of abundance and not waiting until the zeros in your bank account change to give you permission to vibrate at the frequency of abundance. Now, here's the trick. Once we start to vibrate at that frequency internally, that starts to be what we create externally. And here's the caveat, even if you don't, okay, even if it doesn't produce the external circumstances, even if everything I'm saying is total mumbo jumbo hogwash, then you've already been living in abundance internally. You have already been living in enough internally, which arguably is the entire fucking point. Okay, so it's like the point is to feel good. I would argue that feeling is in fact the secret. And y'all, every single module of Moving into Mastery is designed to help you feel good in the 8 most important areas of your life. So I want to give a quick real life story to illustrate what I mean about this vibrational thing and how you vibrating at a different frequency can quite literally change the abundance that you are seeing in your bank account. So y'all know that Ziva Online is like our flagship product. That is like the thing that, pays we have 10 beautiful employees here that pays our salaries, and it's amazing. We'll talk about Ziva Online later. Anyway, 2 weeks ago, I was in Austin. I was shooting a new course, and spoiler alert, it's coming out in October. It's going to be spectacular. But I was living my best life. Like, I was so happy. I was so alive. I felt so abundant. There was 15 people that flew in from all around the world just because they wanted to be at the birthing of this new course. We had artists donating their time. We had the director of photography said he made the most amazing art of his entire career. Like, I was so happy. And the team kept writing me like, Emily, our Ziva Online sales are through the roof. Like, for the exact 3 days that I was on set shooting, our Ziva Online sales quintupled. And no one could figure out why. We didn't start a new ad campaign. We didn't start a new funnel. We didn't change any of our marketing strategies. Our numbers just started going through the roof. So we quintupled our abundance for the exact 3 days that I was shooting this course, and nobody knows why. Still to this day, we can't figure it out. So the only explanation I have is that I was changing the vibration and my frequency of where I was, of how I was feeling, and I think it was attracting more abundance. So back to the law of reversibility. If circumstances can create feelings, then feelings can create circumstances. AKA, if money can create a feeling of safety, then can you feeling safe in your body, trusting nature, trusting yourself, can that create more money? Now, I really believe that when we meditate or when we access heightened states of consciousness, like we will in Moving into Mastery, then we get to access pure consciousness, pure source. Now, in this space of pure source, of infinite potentiality, anything is possible. And from that field, from what I call the bliss field, from that place of fulfillment, you get to choose. You get to decide. You get to place the order. You get to put your energy and attention on one version of a possible reality. And then when you put your attention on that possible version of reality, you put mass or you put weight on it. It's like you're putting weight onto a particular timeline that you are plucking out of the field of infinite possibilities. And then as you put your attention on that, as you allow your emotions to attach to that timeline, it's as if you are weighting it down into the 3D reality. We are putting mass on top of that wave that exists in the unmanifest, that exists in the field of pure potentiality. So with our thoughts, with our emotions, we are accessing the most abundant version of us. We are plucking that version out of the infinite possibilities of timelines, and that is the one we are choosing to bring down into the 3D. All right, let's take a breath. Ooh, how are we doing? That was a lot. When I get excited about something, I like to fire hose it in. And I just want to see, like, how's your head doing? What were your ahas? What are your questions that are coming up? Nat's like, yes, keep going. Shazad is feeling excited. Sva is feeling optimistic. Fire in the rain. What does that mean, fire in the rain? I like that. So engaging. You're a fantastic vessel and mentor. Thank you. Okay, we're feeling good. Mind is blown. So amazing. All right. So I'm going to do a quick review. Keep sharing in the comments questions that are coming up. What's blowing your mind, your ahas, your takeaways. The team can jump in and help support as well. But here's what we've covered so far. We covered the importance of tithing, right? That if you want to create more inflow, then you need to create an outflow, that the neurochemistry of giving is the same as the neurochemistry of receiving. So if we want to receive more, we can give more. And I don't mean just blowing your money, okay? I don't mean just like buying shoes or like mindlessly shopping on Amazon. Like that's an addiction. I mean like consciously choosing to take your abundance and spread it around like manure. So instead of it being a smelly pile of crap, you're growing new things like fertilizer. We talked about the power of working with goddess archetypes to influence your relationship with abundance. We told the story of Saraswati and Lakshmi, that if you want more abundance, then become an expert in something. If you want more of Lakshmi's attention, then put your attention on Saraswati. And then we talked about the law of reversibility, which is basically if a circumstance can produce a feeling, then a feeling can produce a circumstance. If money can make you feel safe, then can safety allow you to create more money? Now, look, this law of reversibility might seem simple, and in theory it is, but in practice it can be much more challenging because this is not just a question of you thinking happy or abundant thoughts. Because even if you could control the content of your thoughts, then you're up against your inherited trauma and the stories around money that you've inherited, right? You're also facing societal and global stories about abundance. Like the whole world is drowning in what I call the I'll be happy when syndrome, this acquisitive approach to fulfillment. And I would argue that this sense of lack, this inability to say, I have enough, we have enough, this trying to fill internal holes with external things is one of the biggest issues we're facing both planetarily and with our mental health right now. And y'all likely feel it, right? Like you can feel the increasing intensity on the planet. And I wish that I could say that things are about to calm down, but y'all, I think that things are about to get a lot more intense as we together birth this more beautiful earth that our hearts know is possible. And I think that with that increasing intensity, it's going to become increasingly more important that we have community, that we have effective ways to resource ourselves, and that we have a North Star that we are moving towards so we do not devolve into more fear, more fighting, more chaos. Because as you know, as I always like to say, what we put our attention on grows. So imagine how profoundly your life could change by simply spending 1 to 2 less hours a week worshiping your worries, and instead spend that time consuming some of the most consciousness-altering, life-up-leveling ancient wisdom and let it change you from the inside out. So I want to ask you a question and I want you to get brave. I want you to bravely answer this. How many hours do you think you spent just yesterday worshiping your worries? This is not meant to be shame-inducing or judgment-inducing. I probably spent a good 1 to 3 hours yesterday. I am in a middle of a lot of big life transitions. But I'm curious for you. How many hours just yesterday did you spend thinking about your worries? 2, 4-ish, 2 to 3, 6, 2, about an hour. Sometimes from the moment we wake up to the moment we go to sleep, probably 2 to 3, way too many. Okay, now multiply that times 7. Let's say 2 to 3 hours a day times 7. We're talking 21, 30 hours a week worshiping our worries. Now, what if instead you were putting in new nourishing paradigms? What if instead of fighting your fear, you were instead like engaging with beautiful, nourishing things that would give you a North Star? Now, I believe that this is possible. I believe that we can bring the frequency of heaven here to earth, one human, one relationship at a time. And I know this because what we have covered so far today in applying this ancient Vedic philosophy to our finances has barely scratched the surface of what is inside of even one module of moving into mastery. Y'all, this thing is the most robust, the most advanced philosophical training I've ever created. And so now I want to check in with you. I'm curious, like who would like to hear more about what mastery can do for you, like for your life, about how we can together bring heaven to earth? I'm very big on consent, and I would love to share. Obviously, it's why we're throwing this event, but I want to make sure that that's cool with you. And I want to make sure that those of you who've actually showed up live today have all the info you need to take advantage of the $1,600 savings that's happening right now and get the bonus. So just who's in? Just if you're like, yes, Emily, just let me know more about moving into mastery. Give me a yes in the chat. Oh my God. Okay, it's already happening. Because if you do, this is where things get really good. This is where we get to go into the curriculum. Yes. Amy is a yes. Kelly's a heck yes. Oh my gosh, someone already signed up yesterday and you're here today. Amazing. Pamela is a yes. Sabrina's a yes. Rebecca's a whoop whoop. All right, so here we go. Drum roll, please. So today is a very exciting day because enrollment for this year's class of Moving into Mastery is officially open. And this is the first time the cart has been open in a year. And right now you have an opportunity to join me on a mission to bring ancient wisdom into the future, right? Like this is my dream, that we get to merge the ancient and the future and to help us bring our biggest gifts to the world. And I really believe that the world needs your light right now. And this revolutionary, life-changing experience will turn you into a master of the 8 most important areas of your life with the goal of making your wildest dreams your everyday reality. So before we dive into the nitty-gritty of the course and how it works and why this year is so special, I want you to close your eyes, take a big deep breath, and ask yourself these questions. Is there a relationship in my life that needs healing? Am I ready to fall in love with my body? How would it feel to be the boss of my brain? Am I ready to see my finances with faith instead of fear? Am I ready to unlock my unique creativity and discover a life of deep purpose? Really good. So taking a big deep breath, and when you're ready, you can open your eyes. And if you said yes to even one of those questions, those were not small questions, right? So if even one of those was a yes for you, then I want you to know that you are in the right place, that this course is designed for you. So now I want to share exactly what moving into mastery is and what it can do for you. I like to think about it like getting your master's degree in life. This is not just a diploma. This is ancient wisdom and modern tools that you can apply to every area of your life so that you can master your relationships, your body, your brain, your money, your purpose, your performance, your creativity, and your time. Because I would argue that our time is our most valuable resource, really. And right now is a really exciting year to enroll because this is the first and last time that we're able to offer Moving into Mastery at an amazing 40% off. Now, this has never happened before and it's never going to happen again. And I'm going to explain more about why we're able to do that in just a bit. Also, again, if you enroll before the end of this event, you're going to get a very special bonus that is going to help you become a magnet for money while you sleep. So I think we're putting the link, if you're like, oh my God, Emily, I just want in, just go to zivameditation.com/mastery and all of the details are there. So how is this course so effective? This works because we combine neuroscience, performance training, life coaching, positive psychology, and most importantly, this powerful ancient wisdom from the Vedas. Oh yeah, and we have a great time while doing it. Because you probably heard the science on this. You learn so much faster and so much more effectively in a state of play. Signy, who is here today, hi Signy, she shared, I feel so much more capable in every way. I understand people, including myself, better. I feel a level of deserving power that I never thought in a million years I would have. I make more money, I take more vacation time, and I make better decisions. And like, can we just get an amen to taking more vacation time and making more money? I was definitely, and I did not believe that that was possible for myself. And I think 2 years ago, I took my first sabbatical and we had like our highest grossing year at Ziva ever. And I took a 2-month sabbatical. So like, if you're in a story of like, I have to work hard in order to make money, I just want you to challenge that. Now, it doesn't mean you don't create value. You got to create and capture value. We talked about that. But there is a world where you could do less and accomplish more. Actually, I want to tell a quick story. I think this is a good, well, no, let me finish Signy's story. So Signy said, I stand up for myself. I have so much more understanding and forgiveness for my past mistakes. Amen to that. It has been the most important work on myself I have ever done. The most surprising thing is how much it's helped me shift out of old patterns. Whew, yes, thank you, Signy. And so I'm curious, who here would like to shift out of some old patterns? And if you're feeling really brave, like, will you share in the comments what patterns you're ready to let go of? Like, you want to speak about money and abundance from a place of ease, but fear keeps coming in. Or maybe you're looking to up-level your patterns on how you take care of your body. Or maybe you're wanting to up-level your patterns around time. Just let me know in the comments what patterns you would love support with. And this is a good segue to the story. So just yesterday, my mom is here staying with me right now because my son's out of school. So my mom's coming. Thank God. God bless you, Mom. I love you, Mom. She's coming to help me with my son for the month of July. And like I said, I'm going through a really intense time in life right now, like a potential move, like a lot of life changes. And I'm kind of like maxed. I'm not overwhelmed, but I am whelmed. And so my mom came to help, and then she showed up from Italy. She went on like a 2-week tour in Italy, and she got here and she was so sick. And then she got diagnosed with COVID, and my son is sick, and I was like, fuck. And I was like really in like a story of like, woe is me. And then that's a separate story. But then she shared that her tour guide from Italy, that she's like, yeah, do you know that everyone on this tour, like almost everyone on this tour, they're millionaires? And my mom said it in this way that was very othering and kind of like, oh, like those people are fancy and I'm not. And I was like, Mom, like I've seen your retirement accounts. I've seen your investment accounts. Like you have more than $1 million. Now I'll say that my mom is 81 years old. She grew up very, very poor. She grew up with a household of 10 kids, no running water. They had an outhouse. It was just her mom. Her dad died when she was 5. My mom has been working since she was 10 years old. Okay. And so the fact that she's been like the vice president of a bank, the fact that she has the wealth that she has is nothing short of a miracle. The fact that she has transcended her stories, like I am so proud of her and I am so inspired by her and I feel grateful to be her daughter. And at the same time, I'm mining for my inherited stories, right? Like what have I inherited from my lineage? And it was just fascinating to watch how, even though my mom technically has more than $1 million, which, at 80 years old, retirement, like bravo, good job. She didn't think of herself as a millionaire. She spoke about that as that's someone else. Other people have more money, not me. And so again, I just want to highlight that it's never about the money. It's always about our relationship with it. Because you could have $100 million and still like use coupons at the grocery store if you're in a state of lack. All right, so let's dive back into the course. Yep. Oh, this is a great question. There's lots of great questions coming in. So I know the team can help jump in on some of these, but does the Mastery course address how to create abundance if you share a life with someone with a lot of negative beliefs about money? Great question, Sigrid. And I would say that the number one thing there is like, it's going to give you the tools to start to change your vibration, to start to change your frequency. And you're going to get so clear on your North Star, and you will start to up level in all of these areas that you will either create worthy inquiry, you will either start to vibrate at a frequency that will invite them to join you, or they'll invite them to ask questions. Or it's possible that the relationship starts to become like a bit too much of an energetic difference, right? Like, and I've seen both things happen. Okay, so how are we going to do that? Throughout the course, I'm going to teach you how to apply this ancient wisdom into each area of your life. Like how to know, speaking of, thank you God, thank you Goddess, how to know whether to stay or leave a relationship. How to identify what is keeping you from the life you desire. How to optimize your health based on your unique body type. And I'm going to talk more about this when I share about the Mastering Your Body module. Whether or not you're in the optimal career path. How to achieve true financial freedom, and how to eat for your unique dosha or body type. But here's the cool thing. The ancient philosophy that you learn, this is just the beginning. Like this is just the foundation of the course. Moving into mastery, yes, it is the Vedas according to Emily, but we didn't stop there. I called on some of my best friends who also happen to be the world's most amazing thought leaders in these areas so that you can apply these concepts to your life. So you are going to learn from 13 of the most brilliant minds that I could find to share the latest developments in these areas. And more importantly, how to link the modern technologies back to these timeless teachings. So we're talking world-class experts like Dr. Mark Hyman, Andrew Huberman of the Huberman podcast, Kate Northrup, Jerry Simpson. They're all teaching on things like somatic healing, psychedelic-assisted therapy, the future of technology, including cryptocurrency and AI, and how to spiritually manage your money. So it's not just old and it's not just new. You really start to see the through line between both. So like I said, there's 8 modules here, but I want to give you a window into 3 of my favorites. So everyone starts with foundations. And this is really like the big bang according to the Vedas. This is like why nothingness became somethingness. And what I found is that once you take foundations, once you start to see this beautiful viewpoint of why nothingness became somethingness, it changes how you move through the world. It changes how you interact with reality itself. Like this foundations course alone is worth the price of admission. I have curated over 16 years worth of Vedic study into this one module. And the themes and concepts and foundations, they show up over and over again in greater detail in the different modules. So then we have mastering your body. So this is going to teach you how to eat, sleep, and exercise for your unique dosha. And what is a dosha? It's a body type. So we have a lot of experts for this. One is New York Times bestselling author Max Lugavere, who's also the host of the Genius Life podcast. He shared about the best supplements, foods, and habits to unlock your inner genius and to combat food toxicity, which we're all swimming in, especially in America. We have the beloved Dr. Mark Hyman, who many of you know. He's a leader in functional medicine. He's our newest expert, and he gave a masterclass in longevity. You know, so many of us, as we're aging, it's like, how do we optimize our muscular health, our skeletal health, our hormonal health? So it was basically a masterclass in longevity. And then my dear friend, Dr. Liz Letchford, who has a PhD in kinesiology, and rehabilitation science, say that 3 times fast. She explored how trauma is stored in the body, and she gave us tools to actually feel, express, and unwind that trauma. So I don't know about y'all, but I feel like the whole world has kind of been swimming in a bit of trauma over the past few years. So it's really good to like unwind and express that. Okay, so then we have mastering your brain. Now, when you think about it, your brain is responsible for printing every single cell in your body and for making every single decision in your life. So when people are like, oh, I don't have time to meditate, or I don't have time to take care of my brain, I'm like, what else are you doing? So in Mastering Your Brain, our guest expert is the one, the only Andrew Huberman. Now, Andrew is not only is an amazing scientist, but he's also an amazing teacher. And he shares his best tools to help us get into flow state, how to increase focus, and how to optimize your brain. Interestingly, Andrew is a neuro-ophthalmologist, so he talks a lot about the brain-eye connection. And then, as if that weren't mind-blowing enough, we have AI genius Jerry Simpson, who joins us to discuss how AI may actually help to usher us collectively into higher states of consciousness. I can't help. I don't want to keep this to myself because I know so many people are scared of AI right now, and the way that Jerry thinks about it. By the way, Jerry is building his own AI and he's feeding it indigenous wisdom. And what Jerry believes about AI is that similar to the shift in consciousness that happened when humans discovered fire, he thinks the same thing is going to happen to humans now with AI. So stay with me. Before humans had fire, we had to digest all of our food internally. Right? But then once we had fire, the fire could pre-digest the food for us. So we didn't need as much blood or energy in our guts in order to digest that food. So once we had fire, all that blood and energy could go up to our brains. Our brains got bigger. Our consciousness got bigger. We started to have language, written language. We started to pass knowledge down from generation to generation. That significantly increased our consciousness. Well, Jerry thinks the same thing is about to happen with AI because we will no longer need our brains to store or process information. I'm going to say that again. AI is about to make our brains irrelevant for storing and processing information. And so because we will have an external thing that can do that for us, we can use our consciousness for almost super consciousness. I like to think about it as that the whole world will be on mushrooms at the same time, that we can almost communicate telepathically. It's like the whole brain will be lit up at the same time. And then we have amazing double board certified physician, Dr. Allison Mulcahy, who many of you loved from our podcast episode. And she's talking about merging conventional medicine, regenerative medicine, energy healing, and sacred sexuality. Also, we talked about psychedelic assisted therapy. And then obviously, you guys are here to talk about money. So in Mastering Your Money, which I shared just a few of the concepts from today, I've had even financial planners say that they got immense value out of this. We have the amazing Kate Northrup, who I love. She teaches on the cosmic connection between money and emotions. And then Amanda Cassatt, who's legit one of the most brilliant humans I've ever met. When I interviewed her, it felt like I was interviewing like Sergey Brin. Like her brain just is not like the rest of ours. Like she is a genius, and she shares about Web3, cryptocurrency, and blockchain and how it's going to shape our financial future. So if all that stuff sounds scary to you, don't worry. It sounds scary to me too. And I asked her very beginner questions. I was like, what is Web3? What is cryptocurrency? And why should I care about it? Please help me not feel afraid. Okay, so I'm gonna pause there because those are my three favorites right now. But if we covered all 8 modules, we won't have time for the activation that I really want to share with you, and that's coming up in just a bit. But if you want to explore all the rest of the modules, you can go ahead and go to zivameditation.com/mastery, and the team can put that chat in the link for you. You can just click on the link in the chat, and then you can explore all the other modules for yourself. And again, those of you that already know that you want in, a reminder that anyone that enrolls during this live event today, you're gonna get a wildly powerful new bonus that we just created. All right, I vote we take a little dance break. That's been a lot of information. So let's go ahead and stand on up, stretch out your body, and we're gonna just move our bodies. We're gonna make space for, because we've got more information coming in. And I hope you like this song choice. See if you can name that tune. You start to shake it out. Anyone know this song yet? Put it in the comments if you know what it is. Yes, Kate's got it. Kate, you win. Ava, Mamma Mia. Thank you, Caroline, for picking up this song.
If I got me a wealthy man, I wouldn't have to work at all. I'd fool around and have a ball.
Big deep breath in. As you dance, just imagine that you are a magnet for money. Just see it raining all over you. And not just money, just abundance of all kinds. Time, energy, health.
All the things I could do. If I had a little money, it's a rich man's world.
I wanted to make it a rich meditator's world. How about that? Let's get the meditators match, y'all.
A man like that is hard to find, but I can't get him off my mind. Ain't it sad?
Just shaking it out. Any part of your body that feels stagnant. We are just making so much more space for more magic.
So I must leave. I'll have to go to Las Vegas or Monaco.
Yes.
Fortune in a game, my life will never be the same. Money, 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 must be funny in the rich man's world.
All right, really, really good. Making your way back to your seat, taking a big breath in, exhaling, giving yourself a huge high five. I'm gonna take a sip of water. How are we feeling? How you doing now? Isn't it amazing that just a few seconds of dance can fully change your vibration? If we think back to the law of reversibility, it's like, let's just keep bringing ourselves into this higher state of frequency. Yes, Jim just already enrolled. Welcome, Jim. Kelly says her cat is jealous. You guys, I don't know what is going on in the field right now, but it is the week of cats. The cats are really showing up big at Ziva this week.
It makes me think of those golden cats in China, like the waving golden cats. It's a sign of abundance. We're
Oh
bringing
yeah,
cat
you're
money.
right. I think that's right. Look, Signy's got her cat there. So good. Oh, it's so good. Okay, so thanks for taking that little break. It was good for me too. Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, this is a very, very special time. This is a very exciting time to enroll in Moving into Mastery, because not only is the cart open for the first time that it has been in a year, but we are also offering it for the first and last time at 40% off. So you might be wondering, like, why we're able to offer such a robust course. I mean, as you know, it's not just 8 modules of me teaching, it's 8 modules with 13 experts, like world-class experts. How are we able to offer this at such an amazing price? And the thing is, we've been listening to the feedback from graduates from previous years, and one of the things that they found the most challenging was showing up and making it live to the masterminds. I know that lots of people have full-time jobs and kids, and so it's been hard to take off of work and show up live. So we're changing the format this year and allowing you to take the course when you want, how you want, at your own pace. So the cool thing here is that you can binge it or you can microdose it. Like, you could take 2 weeks off of work, go to a lake house and just like tsunami it, let yourself like be immersed in all of the modules. or you can microdose it like a multivitamin for your mind. That's how I like to do it. I like to listen to like 20, 30 minutes in the morning while I'm brushing my teeth and washing my face. And I like to listen to 20 or 30 minutes as I'm falling asleep at night. So this year, instead of doing the live masterminds, you're going to have access to, I think, 3 years of mastermind recordings. Let me just reverse on that. Instead of doing the live masterminds, you're going to have access to 3 recordings each for each module. And here's the thing, this frees up my time and the team's time, and this gives us a big savings as a company. And so we want to pass that savings on to you. Also, the course used to be drip fed, and that meant that you would have to graduate from one module before you could receive the next module. But now you can choose the module that's most relevant to where you are in your life. And one of the things that makes this possible for you to do this at your own pace is the fact that the course is lifetime access. So yes, that is right. You can take as long as you need to complete the training. It's not like I'm enrolling in this year's class and I lose access at the end of the year. So later, if you want a refresher, you can go back and retake the course. Actually, I am shocked at how many students every year are like, oh, I'm doing the whole thing again. Like I'm going in again because it's so rich. Like you're going to receive new things every time you hear it. We have hundreds of people who are going to be joining this year's class again because they get more and more out of it each time they dance with this knowledge. A lot of my students think about their lives as pre and post mastery. Like Jillian said, before mastery, I felt like I was on a treadmill. Like I was overwhelmed with daily tasks that left me no time to finish my second book, apply for a professorship, or enjoy time with my family and friends. I am so grateful that I invested into mastery. It's given me a whole new perspective on my time, my goals, and my purpose. Emily mixes ancient wisdom with modern neuroscience in a way that really appeals to my intuitive yogi and my nerd within. Who here has an intuitive yogi and a nerd within? She said, now I can trust myself. I have learned to honor my intuition and adopt tools that work for me, freeing up so much time and energy and helping me to truly enjoy my life. This has been a process of deepening my personal relationships and understanding my purpose, and I couldn't be more grateful. I mean, can I get an amen? So this is why the team and I have spent so much time and energy creating this for you. So let's get you going on this journey, shall we? Okay, so when you enroll, you are going to get instant, and I mean instant, we will send you the first module within a few minutes. You're going to get instant lifetime access into the Moving into Mastery course, which includes the videos, the exercises, really fun worksheets, and curated reading lists. And let me be really clear, this is the only course on the planet that teaches Vedic wisdom in this way. From this depth of ancient knowledge that was kept secret for far too long, combined with the most cutting edge tools from world's leading experts in each area. Oh yeah, and I try to make it pretty entertaining because who said enlightenment has to be boring? And I cannot say this enough. You're not only going to learn the ancient principles from the Vedas, but it couples this with this modern knowledge from these beautiful experts. I think in order to really transform your life, you need this combination of the ancient wisdom and the modern science. So let's break down exactly what you get when you enroll. You're going to get the beautiful teachings in all 8 areas, including foundations, relationships, body, brain, money, purpose, time, performance, and creativity. And so now, like, the total value of lifetime access to all of these modules inside of Moving into Mastery is $13,450. And this includes our recent updates with Mark Hyman, Dr. Liz Letchford, Jerry Simpson, Kate Northrup. So I've talked about, like, there are different areas. I'm not going to repeat it, but this is the last time that we are offering Moving into Mastery this way. So this is news, might be news to some of you. This is the last time you're going to be able to do it, where all you have to do is enroll once, and then you have access to all 8 modules at this outrageous rate. So if you are like me and you really want to get into the full ocean of wisdom and really get a master's degree in your life, then this is the easiest and by far the most affordable way to do that. Okay, so now back to everything you get to set you up for success on this amazing journey. So in addition to the 8 modules, you're also going to get 24 mastermind recordings. Now, this includes 3 for each module. I like to think about this as a podcast specifically designed for your mastery journey. These are recordings from the past 3 years of live calls we did for each module. These masterminds are straight up magic. Like Suzanne said, she said the mastermind calls are truly wonderful. It reminds me that I'm not just doing this work on my own, but that we're in it together. It was so helpful to hear other people's questions that I didn't even think to ask. Emily's answers are often so applicable to my life. I love that in each one, Emily starts off by reinforcing some of the teachings. It's a powerful supplement to the course materials. Plus, having access for life is so valuable. I know I'm going to go back and replay the modules over and over. And I do want to just flag and highlight that these particular mastermind recordings are only available when you enroll into Moving into Mastery this week. So I think I've done, I mean, Signe, y'all can back me up on this, but I think I've done some of my best teaching and channeling during these masterminds. So I highly recommend taking advantage of this before they go away in a few days. And actually, I was thinking about this morning in the shower. It's almost like a time capsule, because you're going to see like the different phases of not only me, like, yes, you'll see like Emily Fletcher as I've gone through like this massive life transformation. And then like as my lens on reality changes, it changes the transmission of the knowledge. But it's cool because it's like, as you're starting it, you're going to get Emily when she was first starting teaching this. And then as the masterminds are evolving, the knowledge gets deeper and it gets more relevant to our modern teachings. Also, you see, I mean, you see like Andrew Huberman looks like a tiny baby in this thing. Like it was just, it's cool to have a bit of a time capsule and like you get to evolve with us through the years. So now the total value of just the mastermind call recordings is $7,300. And just because you're going through this course at your own pace does not mean that you're not going to get support when you need it. I want you to keep going. I want you committed. I want you set up for success, which is why that when you enroll, you are not only going to get the course materials and the masterminds, but for the first time ever, you are also going to get access to a private WhatsApp group. Now, this is only for people inside of Moving into Mastery. And you're in really good company because it's going to be led by one of my amazing Ziva facilitators, Lindsay. And Lindsay was actually in the very first Moving into Mastery. So you'll see her inside of the videos. She's been an amazing student and friend for a long time. And this is going to be a great place for you to ask questions, share aha moments, and get support in real time right on your phone. And seriously, the people who enroll in Mastery are next level. Like imagine the kind of person who is so lit up about living their best life and delivering their greatest gifts to serve the world, and then multiply that times a few hundred. And then imagine you could just access them on your phone. In this group, I have seen some of the most vulnerable sharing met with some of the most generous love and support. Folks have paired up to publish a book together, and the accountability groups that have formed now say that they are some of each other's closest friends. Now, some of you might have heard my podcast with Sarah, who's in this year's class of Mastery, and she shared how relationships module helped her to create healthier boundaries with her family. And on the episode, she was crying tears of gratitude, sharing how her Mastery accountability group have become a true lifeline for her and are now lifelong friends. And the thing is, you're going to have a chance for this as well, because we are offering a live community kickoff call in August, where you're going to get to meet all of the other amazing humans who are in this year's class. And we're going to help you find an accountability group together. This is where you can share your successes, hold each other accountable, ask questions. And we're going to try and mix it up so that some of the people in the groups have been enrolled in Mastery for years and they're doing it for their third or fourth time. And some of you will be brand new, because I think it's going to make for a good mix of like new, enthusiastic curiosity and people who've already embodied this wisdom in their cells. And they just enjoy going through the modules again because they're that rich. And I love this photo right here. This is from one of the accountability groups, and they went on a trip and met in real life because they had been connecting all year. This is what Lori said. She said, "This has been such an incredible journey for me. It felt like a 360-degree experience of learning, engagement, and community. We have access to all the experts you're learning from through the course, and we're able to connect with each other. And even when we can't make the calls, we're able to listen to the recordings and absorb the knowledge. And this has been such a great add-on to all the work that I've done in therapy. I've brought these lessons to my sessions, and I've talked about them with my therapist, and we've done so much healing work." Okay, so here's the deal. Moving into Mastery is going to invite radical change and up-leveling into your life, and our team is here for you. We want you to feel more connected and less lonely through your journey. So in addition to the private WhatsApp group, you're also going to get access to a special Facebook group that's only for students and graduates of Mastery. And this is where you're going to get daily access to me, to our guides, and to the Ziva team. And we're in there day in and day out to answer your questions and to celebrate your successes and to help you navigate the program. And the best part is that your access to this group does not expire, just like the training and the mastermind recordings. Also, by the way, this picture right here, this is where the when I mentioned the book, someone was like, "Hey, I'm writing a book," and then they teamed up and they actually wrote a book. Also, this is some folks came to New York and we all got to meet up in person. Now, Anjali said, In the Moving into Mastery group, I have found my people. Any question, any challenge that I have, I know I can go to the group and get the support I need. Not only from Emily and the guides, who are on point, by the way, but from all of the other mastery students in there. My accountability group has been so supportive, and I love seeing the connections that were made on this journey together. So the total value of lifetime daily access to me and the guides and this rad community is $1,947. And you can think of this like having a team of personal coaches on demand. All right, so let's total all of this up in case you're like me and you like to see things in writing. You like to do a little math problem. So with Moving into Mastery, you're gonna get the course materials, which is a proven matriculation to radically up-level the 8 key areas of your life. You've got the course videos, the ancient wisdom from me, practical tools from renowned experts. And this is really important to highlight. There is a week-by-week syllabus. So if you're a type of person of like, I want to enroll in this and I want to finish it in a year and I want to hold my feet to the fire and I want to be held to account, we have broken it down for you week by week of how many hours you need to invest and what that would look like if you want to do one module per every 6 weeks. So we've created that for you if that's the way that you like to move through it. We also have fun worksheets, audios, and bonus exercises and reading lists. Plus there's the 6 new upgrades, and this is basically combining this ancient knowledge with the most cutting edge technology. You're gonna get access to the 24 mastermind recordings to help you really integrate what you learn in each module into your daily life. And you're gonna get access to the private Facebook group, the WhatsApp group, where you're gonna get unlimited support from me and our guides and the most amazing group of humans on the planet. And let us not forget, you're gonna get lifetime access to all of it. Because you're not just gonna need this knowledge now. You're gonna need this knowledge at different stages of your life. We have mastery students in their 20s, we have mastery students in their 70s. And I feel like this stuff transcends time. Like almost every single mastery student has said to me that they come back to the teachings over and over again. Like Tony, who said every time I revisit my notes and I sit in on a mastermind call, my mind gets blown open and another piece of me clicks back together. These masterminds in the entire series have completely changed the trajectory of my life for the better, and it continues to each time I hear you teach, speak, and share. To anyone considering taking this course, fully trust this is one of the best decisions you could make of your life. So now I want to ask you a question. How much do you think it would cost you to hire a relationship coach, a nutritionist, a financial planner, a career coach, and a world-class functional medicine doctor? How much time do you think that you would spend seeking out world-class resources and then having them vetted by reliable sources, scheduling important appointments to meet those experts? My estimate is that it'll be at least $30,000, probably more. And then I'm talking hundreds of hours of your time. So what I'm offering you instead is a holistic approach to understanding yourself and your role on the planet, to understanding yourself and the laws of nature, how to get radical clarity on your goals, and then how to work with the laws of nature to help bring them to fruition. I'm offering you in-depth access to ancient knowledge that I did not find until I traveled to the Himalayas. I'm offering you access to 13 elite thought leaders who will give you action plans to implement this wisdom and 24 integration calls to embody this knowledge, as well as unlimited access to me and the team inside of our private groups. And because I know it's going to be relevant at different times of your life, all of this comes with lifetime access. So you can revisit these teachings, these exercises, these resources in the groups again and again. And now historically, the price of moving into mastery has been $3,497. That's what we've charged every year that it's been in existence, which is honestly only a tiny fraction of what you would be paying for a master's degree. Most master's degrees are at least $60,000. And I believe that this knowledge is so much more applicable to every area of your life. But here's the deal. I want more people to have access to this knowledge. I think if more people had these tools, planet Earth would be a lot more enjoyable place to live. So because of that, and because we're reformatting the course, we're able to do something that we've never done before. Like I said, this year we are offering Moving into Mastery at the most accessible price point we've ever offered it. So when you enroll right now, you can take advantage of the lowest tuition we've ever offered and save $1,600 on your tuition. So yes, you heard that right. If you enroll in Moving into Mastery, the full library, the recordings, the community, which is usually $3,497, for the first and last time, you can get it for just $1,897. So if you are feeling ready, if this is feeling like a yes for you, I would go to zivameditation.com/mastery and make a decision that will change the rest of your life for the better. And I will send you the first module in just a few minutes. And y'all, I would not sleep on this because on June 28th, the price does go up. Okay, right now we are in the early bird phase. This is like we just launched it. So the price is going up on June 28th. My student Kristen said, for anyone considering moving into mastery, this is an absolute win for how to live your very best life. I visit the audios, resources, and materials I've made again and again. And as my life transforms on this journey, like for real, using it practically improves my life in so many ways. And what a gift to get pricing like this with everything that comes with it. Mastery will be the best thing you ever do for yourself. And I want to highlight that because I really want this to be accessible to anyone who is willing to make it a priority, there is a payment plan. So even with the early bird discount, you can still get a payment plan, which makes it $328 a month for 6 months. I had a student, Nicole, fly to New York City to do a group course with me, and other people were asking her about mastery, and she said she couldn't even remember what she had paid for it because it had brought her so much value. So to get started right now, all you have to do is click the link. The team can put it into the comments right now. So it's zivameditation.com/mastery, or you can just click the link in the comments and that will take you to zivameditation.com/mastery. And then there you can choose the option that works best for you. You can pay all at once and there's a bit of a savings on that, or you can do a payment plan over 6 months, which is I think $328 a month. And then I'm going to send you the foundations module and access to the group in just a few minutes. And here's the deal. I am so ridiculously confident that you're going to love moving into mastery that I'm going to give you 10 days to try it out, risk-free. This means you don't even have to make the decision right now. If you're just curious, you can click the link in the comments and take advantage of the early bird rate, and then you can make the decision 10 days from now. Because if any reason you're not thrilled with it, you can get a full refund. Oh, this is Nicole that I mentioned earlier. She said when she started mastery, she was convinced that she could never find a partner because, get this, she lived in Alaska in a town of 670 people. Y'all, my elementary school had more than 670 people in it. Her whole town had 670 people. But after moving into mastery, she found her dream relationship, and no big deal, but she sold 2 of her businesses. Nicole said, what you will gain from mastery is lessons and tools you will use for the rest of your life, not only in the moment, but to manifest the life that you want. So y'all, at this point, this honestly should be like the easiest decision you've ever made. If you have made it this far in this presentation, then there is clearly a piece of you that is ready for change. There is a piece of you that is excited for this knowledge. So I want you to picture yourself a year from now. I want you to picture yourself 1 year from now having gone through the mastery program, having mastered your body, your time, your relationships, your money, your creativity. And I don't want you to look back at this moment. Wait, don't you want to look back at this moment and think, wow, my life is so beautiful. It's so much happier. I'm so much more abundant. I hardly even recognize who I was a year ago. So y'all, let's get to work ushering in the new earth. Right? I think we can do this by optimizing our brain and body so we can start to vibrate at that frequency of heaven on earth. I want us to be able to hand the next generation an earth that we would be really, really proud of. And I want you to know that this opportunity is showing up for you right now because you're ready. If you weren't ready, you wouldn't be here, right? Like there's that old saying, like when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So seriously, if you are still with me and your body is saying, yes, I want to learn more, there is a piece of you that is ready to jump into this delicious ancient ocean. So if the full $1897 feels challenging, friendly reminder that there is a payment plan available. And that is going to make this life-changing experience accessible to those who are ready for a total reality upgrade. Okay. I want to take a big deep breath in. How are we feeling? What questions are coming up? You can put your questions in the comments. And I want to just take a moment to acknowledge the irony of the fact that this event is called Ancient Wisdom to Attract Abundance. And then anytime we're considering making an investment in something, there's going to be natural questions that arise, natural fear that arises around worthiness, around return on investment. You might even be having feelings of scarcity or old stories of scarcity coming up right now. A feeling of like, oh, I want that, but I can't afford that. And so in addition to the activation, so friendly reminder that we're closing this class out today with an activation that is designed to help you name, clear, and rewire those exact stories that are coming up right now. But here's some really, really exciting news. If you enroll in Moving into Mastery during this event, you are going to receive one of the most powerful abundance activations I've ever created. This thing is designed to reprogram your neural pathways and increase your deserving power. Now, it's called abundant sleep. And if you can't tell, I've already mentioned it like 4 times, and I am very excited about it. So I've been working on it for the past 6 months, and it is spectacular. Those of you who have already enrolled into Moving into Mastery, I've already sent it to you. And those of you that enroll before we end the class in a few minutes, you're going to get access. So this is not just a guided meditation. This is not just a sleep audio. This is 8 hours of deep neural reprogramming. It's going to reprogram fears that you may not even know you have around money. Because here's the trick. Most of our thoughts are generated by our subconscious. They're generated by our subconscious mind. And many of our money beliefs formed before we even hit the age of 8. So as adults, we need ways to access those deep-seated beliefs and rewire them. We have to get beyond the cognitive mind. And so to do this, we need to access more subtle states of consciousness, or what I call the pre-hypnagogic state. And so I created this audio that I wish that I had for myself, something that can help me create an even more abundant mindset while I sleep. And we're utilizing the state of consciousness between waking and sleeping, the same thing that we access after meditation. So abundant sleep exists of 3 audios in one. So I'll just break them down. So there's the deep sleep inducer, and this invites you to tune into your most abundant self and ask for guidance in clearing old unhelpful money stories. Basically, we're going to go in. It's like a ceremony and an activation and a neural reprogramming all in one. Then we have the abundance reprogramming. Now, this is like a white noise while you sleep with affirmations going in your ears. This is me asking you alchemical questions so to help your brain find better answers, because I believe that the quality of your life is determined by the quality of your questions. So it's not just me whispering affirmations in your ears. I'm actually asking your brain questions so that your brain in this sleep state can start to answer those questions. Like, why do I deserve so much abundance? Why am I a magnet for money? Why am I so deserving of abundance? And then your brain starts to answer those questions. And then we have the morning abundance activations. And you can think about this like the world's most valuable alarm clock. Now, as I'm going to guide you out of sleep and into your day, you're going to let go of old beliefs and reprogram your subconscious with more abundant thoughts. This also programs your reticular activating system, which is the filtration device in your brain, to look for opportunities to capture and create more value in the world. Also, a fun fact, I hired my friend who's an amazing composer to custom create the music with healing frequencies. And this is designed to get you into the ideal state of consciousness for sleep, for waking, and for reprogramming your subconscious mind. And you can listen to them individually. Like you could just do the sleep, you could just use the white noise, or you can do all of them all together. You can also use just the alarm clock. Anyway, you'll see it all on the site. Oh, and the way I recommend using this is that you play it every single night for 21 nights to start. So just like make it like, this is like my month of abundant sleep, and you just listen to it every night for 21 nights. Actually, I started using it to test it out, and I'll show you right here. The 4th night of me using it, I got a surprise check from the IRS for $33,000, like 33736. My amazing VP of finance is like, I don't know why you got that check. Like, we don't really know why the IRS gave me that money, but day 3. Okay, so I also gave it to the people who came on our last retreat to test it out for me. And what they shared pretty much blew me away. Susan shared, using this audio, I fell asleep so fast. Unplanned, on day 1, I got $1,000. Day 2, I got $1,400. Day 6, I was gifted a new lawnmower. This thing is powerful. Sleeping quickly and deeply is priceless. Sophia actually shared her sleep scores, and she said, when I started using it, I was very stressed about money, but looking back, now I feel a lot more relaxed about it. The anxiety I was feeling a month ago has gone down without any new money coming in, which feels good because I don't really have a reason to be stressed out about money at this moment in my life, but I was. Okay, now I want to talk through these sleep scores. So this one right here, this is a night that she did not use abundant sleep. So right here on the moon, this is 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. This is her sleep score. So you can see this line right here is pretty jagged. It's going up and down. This, I think, was her first or second night. This is her sleep score on the night that she used abundant sleep. Again, here's the moon, about 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. Look at that flat line. Look at the depth and quality of her sleep, you guys. This is on like 1 or 2 nights of using this thing. So this is her day. This is her day. Actually, you can even see that her day is a little bit more coherent. She didn't have as many cortisol spikes. So this is her sleep without abundant sleep. This is her sleep with it. So No big deal, you guys. Just basically making magic over here. Feeling very proud of this if you can't tell. So the value of this thing is easily worth thousands of dollars. And you're going to see the results within the first few nights of deeper sleep alone. But then you're going to begin to create, have, and grow abundance in many areas of your life. Like Susan made $2,400 in 48 hours. Now soon we're going to price this at $250 on our site. But if you enroll before the end of this call, then you are going to get it as my gift to you. Okay, the time has come. So I am inviting you to join me for a journey that will make the rest of your life so much more fun. Now, if you've already enrolled, which I know a lot of you have, let me know in the comments because we want to celebrate you. And if you're still here, but you have not enrolled, I want to know what your questions are. I want to know what your fears are. I want to know what your stories are so that I can help you make a decision that is right for you. And if this is a no for you, then let's get you to a clear no and let's celebrate that. But if this is a maybe, I want to get you either to a no or to a yes. So friendly reminder that this is the first and last time that we are offering the full library at 40% off with all the mastermind recordings in the community. And of course, if it's not a fit, you can get a refund within the first 10 days. And if you enroll before the end of the event, you're going to get abundant sleep. And a friendly reminder, abundant sleep is not going to show up on the checkout page because this is kind of like our secret gift to you. It's only for the people who are live on this call. So we're not even putting it on the site right now, but the system knows that you enrolled during this call. So you're just going to get it automatically. So all you have to do is go to zivameditation.com/mastery, and that is going to give you the course and the bonus. Okay, so I'm going to come back in just a few minutes so I can answer your questions, and then we're going to do our activation. So I'm going to just check into the comments right now. Oh my gosh, Tori just enrolled. So look, so Anita's already having some fears. She's saying the payment plan is too much for me. So Anita, I want you to feel into you, like what, I want you to feel you 1 year from now. Right now you have a story. This is too much for me, okay? But think about what it would cost you to not enroll in this. Think about what it costs you to not master your time, to not master your body, to not tap into your creativity. What does it cost you to not have access to this knowledge, right? Because we can argue that where we are now is an indicator of the beliefs and thoughts that we've had up until now. Right? But if we upgrade our state of consciousness in the now, think about where you can be in a year from now. I do not have one single student that has not made more money as a result of learning these teachings. I have hundreds of people who've been studying this for 5 years, and every single one of them has become more abundant as a direct result of up-leveling their state of consciousness and mastering the 8 most important areas of their life. So thank you for naming that, and thank you for airing that, because that is exactly what we're going to help with our activation. Okay. Great. Amy is saying she's in. Kevin is excited to reconnect with Mastery. Kevin's doing it again. I'm so happy to hear from you. Okay, so if you have questions, you can go ahead and hit reactions and then raise hand. We'll probably take a few questions live, and then we're going to jump into our activation. So let me stop sharing here. Oh, hello. It's so nice to see your faces. Oh my gosh, Yasmin, your face is so bright and shiny. Hi, Amy. Hi, Goya. Hi, Kevin. So, hi, Paulina. So if anyone has questions, you can go to, do you go to more? No. How do you ask a question?
Go to reactions, and then you can raise your hand.
Oh, I don't have reactions on mine. So if you have questions, you go to reactions and raise hand. So Paulina, I am coming to you.
Hi, can I talk now?
Perfect.
This is great. So I'm a scientist, but I'm going through a career change. And I'm wondering if this course is gonna support me on that, because it's a bit of a big career change, and that's taking a lot of my energy. But also, I have also enrolled in other online courses that I don't get through, and I'm really afraid I'm gonna do the same thing.
Yeah. Amen. Can I get an amen on that? Just raise your hand if you've ever enrolled in an online course and then not done it. Yeah. Do you know that the average completion rate of online courses is 3%? The average completion rate of online courses is 3%, which is horrifying. I am very proud to say that our completion rate of Ziva Online is something like 70%. We have like wild numbers. Like it's unheard of. Even our open rates of our graduate sequences of our emails is like in the 70s. So here's the thing I want to just reassure you about is that what does finishing mean, right? You have lifetime. So if you want to do this course in a year, You can. We have a week by week syllabus. You're going to have an accountability group. We're going to put you into groups of 4. We're going to have a WhatsApp group, a Facebook group. We're going to send you an email every 6 weeks, like guiding you on like, oh, this is the new module. Like this is the new thing that you could put your attention on. But really you can take this course as you want, when you want. You can think about it like a library, like an encyclopedia that you can come to. So if you're having some money troubles, be like, oh, I'm going to listen to the money modules as I get ready in the morning. I'm going to play it while I'm doing my makeup. I'm going to play it while I'm cooking. I'm going to listen to it like a podcast while I drive to school. You don't have to sit at a computer and like dedicate like 3 hours of taking notes to it. Like you can really let this knowledge wash over you. And the other thing I would offer is that there's no last chances. So I fully hear you that fear is there. But the cool thing about this year's like the way that we're offering the course this year is that it really can speak to people who love structure and like want to commit to like I'm going to do a 1 module every 6 weeks and want to have their feet held to the fire. And it also speaks to people who just want to like microdose it and do like maybe, a few minutes a day or maybe take a break for a while. I feel like I lost your screen, Pauline, but did that answer your question? And also, what kind of scientist are you and what's your new career? I think she went away. I hope she heard that answer. Okay, but maybe you can come back. Serena, I'm going to come to you. Hi. Oh my God, your face, your enthusiasm is so good already. They say that Entheos is being filled with God. And I feel like you're very filled with God right now.
Oh, Emily, I am so happy to be connected to you live right now. I can't even believe it.
I'm so happy to be
signed up.
connected to you live right now.
Oh, yes. And I love everything that you've brought to my life so far. I have been wanting to learn about the Vedas, and I was even trying to dig in myself, and you're just making it possible like this. So I'm signed up. I'm ready to jump right in. I also have a move that is imminent, and I'm not sure where I'm going. So I'm looking for, some immediate, like breakthroughs. And then I know this is going to take a while, but I'm on this road. I listen to your podcast. I love all of your expert friends, and I can't wait to feel vital. And I already do.
I mean, you seem quite vital to me. Like, I don't know that I've ever seen someone as vibrant and vital as you. So, like, bravo. And do you want to do a little quick coaching on the move? Like, do you want to say anything about the move? Anything I can help with right now? When you say I'm moving, but I don't know where I'm going, what does that mean?
I am a native New Yorker, and I am raising 2 amazing children here, but there may be an opportunity elsewhere to thrive. And that's just what I want to do, is thrive. And it just feels like a lot, but I'm ready to make a change, and I know I need to. And
so a couple of things is, one, I want you to know that you're not alone. Like I am about to move and I don't know where. I know my son is moving, and so I will be moving and I don't know where. So I'm in a similar situation. And one of the beautiful things about this course is that it anchors you in those ancient truths that are unchanging, so that as the tides are constantly changing, like as the waves are waving, you are anchored into that unchanging source. And I find that brings so much comfort. And it's like, instead of resisting the change, instead of trying to control, which as we know is an illusion, you're like, oh, I understand cycles. I understand that we move in creation, maintenance, and destruction. I understand there's times of expansion and times of contraction. And so I find that comfort is going to allow you to make, not better, because I don't believe in good or bad, right? One of my favorite concepts in the Vedas is that there's no such thing as good or bad. There is only creation, maintenance, and destruction. But it's going to allow you to make more aligned choices. And you're going to remember that as you uplevel your state of consciousness, you are available to receive higher level wisdom, so that nature is just basically bringing you the clue, the guide, the house, the indicator, the very clear sign that like, this is where I'm meant to go. This is my new career. This is my new place that I'm meant to live. And your prayers become more acute, and then your ability to receive the answer to those prayers increases as you increase your state of consciousness.
oh, Emily, I just love every word you have to share. Thank you so much for being in my life, and just thank you. I'm connecting, everything's resonating.
Oh my gosh, Serena, I love you. I'm so happy you're in. I'll see you inside. Okay, Paulina, I'm coming back to you. I think we got disconnected.
Yeah. I was
Okay.
here, but I couldn't unmute myself. So I'm going through a career change, and that's
Yep.
consuming all my energy, and I want to know if this is the right place to be, to
Mm.
support that.
So you said you're a
Um,
scientist. I'm just curiosity. What kind of scientist are you, and what are you
so
changing
I
into?
do infectious diseases and immunology, and I want to move to more to working interventions for underserved communities where we work in well-being. And actually, I've been
Were
thinking
you
on
working
ways to
what?
connect on well-being, but in a holistic way, like on physical well-being in terms of, like, for example, infectious diseases, but also mental and emotional. And
Are you
I've been
saying
thinking on people
well-being?
well-being, yes, and
Well-being.
I've been
Okay.
thinking on people like you on how to connect and find ways to serve underserved communities, because I've been working through infectious diseases with underserved communities, but they don't get much out of the research that we do.
Yeah.
And a lot of what we do for well-being is more like for people who have access to resources. So it will
Yeah.
be great to think on ways on help these people in this
I mean,
holistic way.
Paulina,
And
you, the answer is this is going to be a masterclass in helping people to eat better, to manage their money better, to manage their time better, to tap into their creativity. Like, I mean, obviously these are just the 8 areas of life that I think are the most important, but I think specifically the body module, like it is very, it's not highfalutin information. Like it's not stuff that requires a lot of money. Like the thing about the Vedas, like 6,000 years ago, they weren't using hyperbaric oxygen machines. They weren't using peptides. They weren't, I mean, I think Ayurveda is the original biohack. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
and
Because it's basically, yeah.
I just want to say, like, I've been meditating, doing transcendental meditation since I was 8 years old. So I've known about the Vedas, but there's nothing as the way you teach it. So it's beautiful to get back to it through you. I'm very, very grateful.
Thank you.
And yeah, so these are very, very poor people. So
Yeah.
that's why it's very challenging. And yeah,
Yeah.
and that's why I was
Well,
wondering if,
I would
yeah.
offer that, like, I think just being, and I don't know what country are you in?
I'm from Ecuador, but I live in Berkeley. I graduated from UC Berkeley and I stay
Okay.
here.
I
I
think that
met my
living in
husband. Yeah.
America right now it's very challenging to be healthy living in America right now. Like, I mean, especially if you don't have resources, but even if you do, our food is effing toxic, right? And so it's very challenging to be healthy. So we need to learn and educate ourselves on how we can detoxify. But honestly, there's a lot of this stuff, a lot of the knowledge, especially in the body module, that is about the time of day that you eat, the temperature of your food, how you digest your food. It's very simple questionnaires and quizzes that helps you to figure out, like, oh, what is my dosha, that does not require a lot of money. So I would say that you having this knowledge, you having these resources is going to make you infinitely more valuable to share this like ancient knowledge with these students. And it's not even about becoming a teacher of the Vedas. It's just like, oh, this is the way your body's going to work best. If you eat spicy foods in the middle of the summer at noon, your body's going to be inflamed, right? If you eat cold, raw vegetables in the middle of the winter, your body's going to be too cold. So it's like simple
Yeah.
things, simple adjustments that,
Mhm.
irrespective of income, are going to up level your body's ability to digest food. It's going to allow the food to be turned into nutrients. And then those nutrients are the building blocks for our brains. And the brain is the building block for our state of consciousness. So if we want to help these people get out of the economic situation that they're in, we need them to have access to good food. We need to up level their consciousness. We need to give them the building blocks so that they can like build the ladder. And obviously systemic change is involved as well, which, that's another course to be taught by another person. But systemic change is, but I think here's my plan for that is getting this knowledge into the people who are creating the systems.
Yeah. Last thing that I want to say, I want to work with the Ecuadorian communities, indigenous communities. So
Yes.
it would be great to bring some of this knowledge there. Yeah.
Yes, and I am very excited. If you have relationships to elders, indigenous folks in Ecuador, I am deeply excited to be a student, and I would love to reciprocate in any way that I can and learn more. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And one thing I do want to say is that Jerry Simpson, who's one of the new experts, he is working with a lot of indigenous elders and helping to feed that knowledge into AI, because he believes that, like, The truth is the truth, and AI is just going to get to the fact that a zero-sum game is not going to work for any of us. So anyway, thank you for your work in
Thank you.
infectious disease. Thank you for the work in helping bringing well-being to underserved communities. You are a hero. We love you.
Thank you.
Okay, Pauline, coming to you.
Emily, I just want to say thank you. I found you last year. My daughter had gifted me an audiobook credit, and I was so severely stressed with work and life that I would literally walk out from my desk crying multiple times a day. And I found your book, Stress Less, Achieve More, and I listened to it and I listened to it. And then I did the online meditation. The course I've done Ziva Online, and now I'm signed up for this. And I just wanted to say thank you. I can't wait. I can tell on days. There was one day a few weeks back, I missed my morning meditation. Just life got me, and I was just different. I was like, I didn't do my meditation. I knew right away.
I
Yeah.
have been there. I have been there. And thank you so much for sharing that, Pauline. Like it really, like just in me, like this is why we do what we do at Ziva. It's why the team and I pour so much of our time and hearts into this is exactly your story. And so the thing I want to highlight is like, look at you now, right? Like your groundedness, your joy, your beauty,
Yeah.
your radiance, like how you are in your body right now. And then that time capsule of where you were crying at your desk, walking out from work. And like that's just been like a few years, right, of implementing just a fraction of these tools. And so I just want to give everyone the opportunity to make that time capsule. Like imagine if you had an even deeper relationship with the history of this meditation, the philosophies that birthed this meditation, all of the sister sciences to this meditation. Like imagine the time capsule of you 2 to 3 years from now, looking back on you right now.
Well,
Right?
I'm
Like
so excited. I'm
yeah,
just
like I'm
absolutely excited.
45 years old. I think I am getting hotter, smarter, more radiant, stronger by the day. And that is not an accident. I am not special, but it is me implementing, it's me working with the laws of nature through this knowledge. And so
Yeah,
thank you for
it's
that.
just amazing. I mean, my cat sits with me. She does the meditation with me every morning.
Yes.
And
I love it.
I just want to say thank you. I know other people have questions, but thank you.
Great. Thank you so much. And I do just want to say that I know some folks are curious about if they need to graduate from Ziva Online before enrolling into moving into mastery. And we used to make that a prerequisite that everyone in moving to mastery had to graduate from Ziva Online first. We've changed that because we know that there's so many different ways to learn meditation now. So if you already have a meditation practice, some other kind, we're not going to stop you from enrolling into this. However, we highly, highly, highly recommend that you have a daily meditation practice. You're going to get so much more out of mastery. Obviously, we recommend Ziva Online, like that is our flagship training, but it's not a prerequisite, but we highly recommend doing it. Okay, I am just, Serena and Marnie, I'm just letting you know, I'm prioritizing folks who have their cameras on. I'm going to take one more question and then we're going to do our activation. So Erin, I'm coming to you.
Hi, I just signed up and I'm a little freaked out about it. Excited and freaked out, but
Yep.
a few weeks ago I was approached by Jay Shetty and his program to do one.
Personally?
I graduated from his life coaching program, so I have a
Okay.
relationship with the company,
Yeah.
and they a few people to go through an advanced growth certification. It was invite only, and I accepted the invite. It's expensive as hell. But I just enrolled in that. My first session is today. And I'm thinking, is this too much? Should I wait? Like, am I like, I don't know, help me feel better about my decision to jump into this as well.
Yep. Okay. So can you give me a little window into like how many hours a week will the coaching training be?
They said 1 to 2 hours a week.
Okay. And like realistically, like if you were to look at your like Instagram usage on your phone and like Netflix usage, like good, God bless you. Good
I
job.
be able to do the Facebook unless I don't do social media and I
Okay.
don't want.
But like, are you like working 3 jobs and have 3 kids? Like, talk to me about your like time that you have available in a week right now.
I have a full-time job
Mm-hmm.
and pretty busy. I travel some for sales, and
Mm-hmm.
then I am launching. I just graduated Jay Shetty Life Coach and
Mm-hmm.
launched a side hustle, and I'll be applying my goal with this growth coaching and here is to acquire clients and to become the person that I need in order to accept that abundance, pushing it away from me because I self-sabotage. I'm sure of it. So yeah, I apply a couple hours after work every day to do stuff, but that's really it. I mean, on the weekends I play hard. I need to play hard.
So here's a couple of options of ways you could think about this. And I would say that the worst case would be that you try and do both 100% and then you feel guilty, you feel overwhelmed, and then you quit both, right? So I would recommend getting really honest with yourself, like really like maybe do like a time tracker for 1 week that's like, oh, this is how I spend my time in a day, this is how I spend my time in a week. And like this realistically is how many hours I feel good about investing in my personal development right now. Is it 1? Is it 4? And I can't answer that question for you, but like whatever that number is, if it's really 1 to 2 hours a week for them, I think you could easily like love and feel great about mastery doing 1 hour a week. So if you're doing 2 hours a week with the coaching and 1 hour a week with mastery, like I think that's going to be a beautiful compliment. And I think that this knowledge is going to help to make you a better coach. And you might even want to start with the money module. I mean, everyone's going to start with foundations because that's like, the foundation, but then you could start with money if that's the thing that's alive for you right now. Now, the other thing I would offer is that right now really is like the best price it's ever going to be. Like we're changing the format. So I think it's great that you already enrolled. I think it's great that you're taking advantage of getting all the modules at 40% off. And the reality is you could pause. Like you could just hit pause, finish this coaching certification, and then start mastery after you graduate. No stress. You have lifetime access.
Additional coaching. So it's
What's that?
12 weeks of one-on-one coaching with the growth coach, and then 12 weeks of group coaching, a small group. So it's a 24-week coaching program that
Great. So if you want, you could just pause on mastery and start on week 25. Like if that feels less stressful to you, like there's no last chances, but if you're feeling excited and enthusiastic, you might want to start with like 1 hour a week of mastery right now, and then like pick up with it more in earnest once you finish. But like I would say like this one sounds time specific, right? And more like one-on-one. So obviously that feels like the time priority, but you're going to have lifetime access. So yeah, no last chances.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Okay, sweet friends. So I want to be respectful of your time, and you've already stuck with me for such a beautiful. We've done a lot in 2 hours, you guys. We did our 3 lessons from the Vedas. We did 2 dance parties. We got to go into moving into mastery. We've done some hot seat coaching, but now I would like to do this activation. And so the whole point of this is to tune into, any fears that are coming up, and it could be right now, it could be about this particular investment, or it could just be limiting beliefs or stories that you have about money right now. So if you'll do me a favor, I want you to just close your eyes, take a big deep breath in, exhale, and tune into any lingering, any faint remains, any old stories about I am not enough, I don't deserve to invest in myself, other people are rich, I'm not, other people are millionaires, I'm not, I need to be judicious, I need to save, I need to be careful, I need to be responsible with my money. And a lot of it might have fallen away already. You might be in a place of optimism and enthusiasm, but if those things are getting louder for you, if you have a deeper layer of it, I want you to just tune into that piece of you that's feeling a little scared, that piece of you that's feeling perhaps scarcity around money, or even scarcity around time. Just noticing where that sensation is happening in your body. Does it show up as tightness in your chest, or maybe pressure in your head? Maybe it feels like pins and needles or heaviness. Just noticing where that scarcity, where that fear, where that lack shows up somatically in your body. And just noticing if that sensation, that fear, that lack, that scarcity, if it has a color, if it has a texture, if it has a weight. Is it gray? Is it blue? Is it cold? Is it spiky? But breathing into that feeling of scarcity, those fears, letting them speak to you, letting them be felt, letting them be acknowledged, perhaps letting them get more intense as you breathe into them. What we put our attention on grows, if but for a moment. So bringing your attention to those sensations, breathing into them, letting them amplify, letting them maybe even get a little bit bigger as you breathe into them, feeling that constriction, that fear, that contraction, that nervousness, that othering, that feeling that we're separate from money, the stories that we heard about money, the judgment or shame or guilt about having too much or too little money. And again, with each breath, letting that feeling and sensation intensify, letting it get bigger. If it's in your chest, letting it take up your entire chest. And with your next breath, letting it get even bigger, that it gets so big that it has to exist outside of you, that it can't fit inside of your body anymore. And the sensation is like a bubble or a ball or a spiky pyramid or whatever it looks like, whatever texture or color or shape it is, let it exist outside of your body. And it's still there, it's still real, it's still valid. But it's intense enough and big enough that it can't fit inside of your body anymore. So it exists right outside of your body, right in front of your chest. And then noticing any spaciousness that is created inside of your chest, letting that feeling be outside of you. Breathing into that spaciousness, breathing into that openness in your chest, letting these feelings and these fears be outside of you. And again, taking a big, deep breath into this spaciousness, this sense of possibility, maybe the sense of neutrality that's happening inside of your body as this feeling is still valid, still real, but outside of you. Really good. And when we do these activations, when we turn up the dial on things that we've been avoiding much of our lives, it can be intense. So I want you to take a moment to scan your body to notice, where do you feel the most safe in your body right now? It might be your feet, your hands, your hair. Just noticing, where in your body do you feel safe? Breathing into that sensation. Keeping your eyes closed, but feeling into your room. What in your room allows you to feel safe in your body right now? The floor, your chair, the temperature, the light. Really good. And I'm going to ask you a series of questions, and we call these alchemical questions. And your brain is able to receive a question more easily than a statement. And so these questions are going to create an emotional response in your body. And some of the questions will be true, some of them will not be true, but they're all going to have an emotional charge to them. And you don't have to answer these questions in your mind. Okay, you do not have to use your intellect. This is a feeling exercise. So I'm simply going to ask you a series of questions, and you're not answering them with your mind. You're simply noticing the feelings that happen in your body, the somatic sensations that happen in your body. And after each question, I want you to say silently in your mind, feel enough. Silently in your mind, you're going to say out loud, feel enough. So I'm going to ask you a question, like, why does it feel like everyone else has more money than me? And instead of answering that question with your mind, you're simply going to say, feel enough. Feel enough. And just noticing the sensations in your body. So again, all of these questions are going to have an emotional charge. Some of them will be true, some of them won't be true, but you don't have to answer them with your mind. Just keeping your eyes closed, keeping your awareness on the sensations in your body, and after each question, simply saying, feel enough. Really good. So let's say that the feeling that we're all collectively working towards is a space of abundance, of possibility, of confidence, of deep belief in ourselves, of deep trust in ourselves, and a deep trust in nature, so that we know that we already are abundant and that we can attract whatever abundance that we desire. That's the feeling that we're moving towards. So just noticing how far away you are from that. If that is the feeling we're moving towards, how far away are you from it now? Scale of 1 to 10. And I'll ask you these alchemical questions. Why is my relationship with money so tricky? Feel enough. Why does money feel so scary? Feel enough. How do I get out of this story I have about money? Feel enough. How do I jump into the next level of abundance? Feel enough. Aren't I tired of always feeling lack? And you could just keep saying feel enough silently in your mind or out loud. After each question, tuning into the physical sensation in your body, and after each question, saying silently or out loud, feel enough. When will I feel like I am enough? Doesn't it feel like everything is getting more expensive? Doesn't it feel like everything's getting more expensive but my income is staying the same? Why is my money shrinking? Isn't my stress directly related to my money? Aren't I getting more stress the less money that I have? Aren't I in a downward spiral when it comes to money? Aren't I sick of feeling lack? Aren't I tired of feeling scarcity? Isn't it exhausting? When is it going to change? Doesn't something have to give? Isn't it fucked up that 10 people have billions and billions of dollars and the rest of the world is struggling to survive? When is that going to change? Aren't I pissed at money? Aren't I pissed that I don't have enough money? When is it going to be my turn? When am I going to have enough? When are the tides going to change? What else do I have to do to attract more abundance? What if it isn't about doing at all? What if it's about being? How do I find the balance of being and creating value? How do I find the balance of creating value and capturing value? How do I see that my job is not the source of my abundance? How do I see that my job is the channel for my abundance? How can I open up to the infinite channels of abundance that are all around me? How can I detach my self-worth from my income? How can I detach my self-worth from my bank account? What am I making my money mean? How do I see that I am already enough? How do I see that my self-worth is not determined by my bank account? How do I really know beyond a shadow of a doubt that my income does not validate or invalidate me? How do I trust that I am a child of God, a hand of God, and therefore valuable? How do I trust myself more? How do I trust nature more? How do I get into flow? How do I open up my ability to receive? What if every single cell in my body could become receptive? Isn't there abundance all around me? Haven't I just received 2.5 hours of a free teaching? Aren't I watching this free teaching on my very fancy phone or computer? Don't I have food in my fridge right now? Don't I have a place to sleep right now? Don't I have people who love me right now? Don't I have my body, my taste, my smell, my sight? Don't I have my health? Isn't that true wealth? Don't I have the same number of hours in the day as everyone else? Isn't that true wealth? What does abundance look like for me? What does abundance feel like for me? If I could wave a magic wand over my life, what would abundance feel like? What if I knew that I already have everything I need? What if I knew that nature has already given me what I need to create abundance? How do I trust that? How do I trust myself even more? How do I get into the frequency of abundance? How do I get into the vibration of gratitude for what is? Don't I know that the gratitude for what I have is the fastest way to have gratitude for what is on the way? How do I trust that I am already enough? Aren't I actually already drowning in abundance? Isn't there more free information on the internet that I could ever consume in my entire life? Aren't there more recipes in cookbooks online than I could ever make in this lifetime? Don't I have more friends than I could possibly catch up with before I die? Aren't I actually already drowning in choices? Don't I actually want a little bit less? What if my abundance is actually a little bit less? What if abundance is knowing what to prioritize? What if abundance is trusting myself enough to say no? What if abundance is trusting that nature wants me to have everything that I desire? What if I trust that my desires are divinely inspired? How do I get into the frequency of gratitude? How do I truly love and cherish everything that I already have? What would it feel like to walk through life in a state of radical gratitude? Would that change my relationship with abundance? Wouldn't it be more fun? Don't I deserve to invest in myself? Don't I deserve to invest in the things that feel like a full yes in my body? Aren't I worthy of having the things that I desire? Don't I know the difference between an addictive longing and intuitive desire? How do I listen with my body? How do I think with my heart and feel with my mind? How do I see that I already have enough? How do I trust that I already am enough? Isn't it true that the more grateful I am, the more abundance I attract? What am I grateful for right now? Aren't I grateful for right now? Don't I know that I will never have this moment again? How do I see that the more grateful I become, the more abundance I attract? How do I live my life in a state of thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you more, please. Yes, thank you more, please. Really good. And taking a big, deep breath in. Exhaling on the sound of the sound of God. Another big breath into your heart. This time, as you exhale, sending some love to all of the other beautiful people that just did that activation with you, that just took some time to reprogram and rewire those neural circuits so that those looping stories of fear and scarcity are not running our lives or making our decisions for us anymore, that we get to choose to tune into this frequency of gratitude, to choose to tune into this frequency of abundance for ours and for everyone's highest good. So taking one more deep breath in all the way down into your feet. Starting to move your hands and your feet, really taking a moment to give thanks for your body, to give thanks for your room, to give thanks for the device through which you have received this transmission, to give thanks to yourself for showing up today, to give thanks to each other to create this beautiful container for this knowledge to flow through. And whenever you're ready in your own time, you can start to slowly, gently open your eyes. I love you guys so much. It is such a gift to be able to share this knowledge with you, to be able to do these activations with you, to be able to dance with you. I feel your presence. I feel your love. I feel your receptivity. I feel your enthusiasm. I've been so inspired by seeing everyone who's like, I'm in, I'm in, I'm in. I'm also so inspired by your fear, the people who are naming the fears of like, I'm in and I'm scared, or I'm not in and I'm scared. So know that all of it is welcome here. All of you is welcome here. Erin, I feel you. I see you. I feel these big emotions coming up. I want you to know how much we are loving you. If you need support from me or the team, just reach out. And I'm just going to check in. How was that activation for you? What came up? What was surprising? What was enjoyable? Was it overwhelming? Christian saying, so thankful for the energetic connection the internet is giving us. Yes. Oh, someone's saying, how do I sign up? You can sign up by going to zivameditation.com/mastery. So if you're still here, so we're about to turn this off in a few minutes. And so those of you who want to take advantage of the abundant sleep, that bonus is just for people who are signing up during this event. And as you can tell, we're about to come to a close. So I would go to zivameditation.com/mastery if you want to take advantage of abundant sleep. The 40% off that rate of the early bird rate, that is going to be good until June 28th. So even if you don't sign up during this event and you want to think about it or talk to your partner or sleep on it, you will be able to take advantage of the early bird rate until June 28th. And then the cart is going to be open until July 2nd. So that is actually when the doors close. So it's like a tiered window of magic. If you sign up now, you get the most magic. June 28th, next best magic. July 2nd, trains are leaving. We're starting the course. Oh, interesting. Okay, Tom said, before the activation, my head was about to explode, and not from joy. Afterwards, the pressure subsided. Whatever this was, it was helpful. Yes, great. I call this alchemical questions, and we do some of this inside of the abundant sleep activation. It's me asking you these questions as you're falling asleep, doing a bit of it while you're sleeping, and then some of it as you wake up in the morning. Kimberly said she felt amazing, tears of cleansing and feeling so grateful and full enough. Yes. Pauline said, I felt a vibration in my chest. Erin says, oh yeah, okay. Yeah, so Erin, just reach out to the team. We can reach out and give you some support. So just like acknowledging that whatever is your portal, and I want to celebrate you in like sitting with the bigness of these feelings. Sometimes when we get access to new knowledge or new tools, there can be all kinds of resistance that comes up. Sometimes there's a part of you that knows that it might die, and it's like, no, thank you, I don't want to die, and it starts to fight. Sometimes it's just overwhelming gratitude for the knowledge coming in. So just really honoring your experience, and if you need support, we're here for you. So I do have a special guest here today, the amazing Signe, who is in this, I don't know what year you started, Signe, but she was willing to share her story. So if anyone wants to stick around and hear a story from a previous Moving into Mastery grad, Signe's going to share her experience. And that'll also give those of you who are on the fence a few more minutes to decide. And you can just go to zivameditation.com/mastery. So Signe, hi, it's so good to see your face.
Thank you. Thank you.
And thanks for being here this whole time. How are you feeling? And like, what would you want to say to, like, there's still 322 people here, and I'm sure many of them have signed up. Many of them might be on the fence. They might be feeling afraid. So I'm curious if you could tune into like the version of you who was likely on a live call of this a few years ago, version of you that's like, do I deserve this? Should I invest in this? Will it be worth it? Like, could you speak to that version of you or those fears or whatever you think that people might be experiencing here that would let them get to a full yes or a full no,
Yeah.
right? Like, I don't want to pressure anybody to take this if it's not a yes, but I think it's helpful to hear from folks to get clarity on like their yes or their no.
Yeah, I think been meditating since 2020, but I joined Mastery last year, and I was so full of fear. Like I was seeing the things, I was intrigued. Part of my brain was like so intrigued by it and interested, and there was a bigger part of me that was just like, no, it's too much money. I can't handle the workload. It'll interfere with my job, and I just sort of was on a live call, and it felt like the part of me that wanted to evolve pushed through, and I just I pulled the trigger, and it was scary, and I was like, what have I gotten myself into? And I was like, okay, I've got 10 days in case it doesn't resonate.
Yeah.
But I would definitely say, like, if you told me that you had accidentally only charged me half and you had to recharge me the full amount from last year, I would be like, okay, send me the bill. The way the courses like went on top of each other were incredible. The foundation, I felt like it just helped me. The meditation helped me be in a place where I could do this work, which was really incredible. And like the reframing, it was like I felt like I was able to tackle baggage that I had not been able to tackle with like years of therapy, and it just gave me these tools. Yeah, I think the money piece in particular was like I was shocked at the level of stories I had in my brain. Like I was like, I'm a professional person. I've got this, like I had a lot of stress about money, but there were so many stories in my head. And the work that we went through in the modules was just so shifting, and it tied together. It was like the work from mastering your relationships tied into the work in mastering your money, which tied into the work of mastering your brain. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. I think it's just it was such a game changer for me.
Thanks for highlighting that, because I think that's something I've not talked about, is that like even studying, like actually you talked about this where you were like, oh, what I learned in mastering your body,
Yes.
like once you understood your dosha or your body type, it allowed you to stop judging like the way you perform at work or like the way that you learn. Like, do you
Yes.
want to just share that story? Because I think that's very interesting. Like how one module, like even though body might not seem to be related to your creativity or your money, but they are very deeply are connected. But I'd love to hear that story about how you learned about your dosha.
Yeah, I think getting into the doshas was really interesting, and it really helped me to honor like the whole like creation, destruction. And I think I was in a place at work where I was needing to destroy irrelevancy, but I was having a lot of emotional things that like I wanted to be the kind, the protector person, and it just helped activate me at work, and which tied into the money in that like it was like I was honoring wisdom and bringing value, which then brought Lakshmi in with all her, trophy wife vibes. Because I was bringing value in this like way, but I was like helped me to just sort of like realize I had to like turn up and down the dials, because in the relationships you learn a lot about turning up and down the dials of yourself, and like coming to a place of peace. Like there's a lot of things from my parents that live in me that I had a lot of baggage around, and instead of like being shamed about it, it was like turning up dials and down dials. And same with the doshas, like eating for kapha, eating for pitta, like eating to have a clearer head, or if I needed to be more grounded, which just all I feel like I'm not explaining it super well, but it just all really played so nicely together that it was
Well,
just really shocking.
the thing that blew me away about your story is that like once you understood, so just so everyone knows, in Mastering Your Body, we give you a quiz that allows you to determine what is your unique body type or your dosha. So in Ayurveda, there's 3 different doshas or body types. There's Vata, Pitta, and Kapha. So Vata is air and space, Pitta is fire and water, and Kapha is earth and water. And so Signy is Kapha dominant, which means that there's like a lot of earth energy. And Kapha dominant people tend to like take a little bit longer to get going because there is so much earth. But once they're going, it's like try and stop them. Like Oprah is Kapha dominant. So not a mistake that Oprah got her first TV show at 50 years old, right? So it took her a little bit longer to get going, but like once she did, like try and stop her. And so there's a world where if you didn't understand that dosha, like Oprah at 50, if she didn't understand, I mean, I don't know what Oprah's relationship is with Ayurveda. I mean, I think she and Deepak are pretty tight. So I think she understands it a lot now. But the point of the story is that like, if you don't understand your body type, you might think like, oh, I'm a failure. I'm late. I'm behind. There's something wrong with me. And then that self-defeating story can get you to stop. Right. But if you're like, no, I'm kapha, I might be a little bit slower to start than someone else like me. Like I'm vata dominant, which is air and space. So I'm very, very fast, right? Like my brain goes fast, I talk fast. And when I get out of balance, I have anxiety, I have nervousness, I have insomnia because this gets out of balance. Whereas when kapha is out of balance, it gets too slow, too stagnant. Well, not too, but just it gets more slow, more stagnant.
Yes.
And so what I loved about your story is like once you understood that you were kapha dominant, it's like you stopped judging yourself as being late or behind. It was just like, no, this is the way that my body goes. And then you accept that and then you work with those laws of nature and that can impact your finances, your relationships. And so thanks for highlighting like the mycelial network of how this knowledge can up level every other thing. And on that, I just want to share like one big manifesting tip that I recently just learned.
Yes.
It's just some like, I just want you guys to have this knowledge. I learned it from someone that I very much respect in the manifesting world. And she said that anytime she's manifesting in one area of her life, like if she's working on getting into the best shape of her life physically, she says, may this up level apply to every other area of my life.
Yes.
Just a simple little adaptation to your prayers. But if you're working on your finances right now, like if you're really manifesting more money, just offer the prayer, like may this up level in my finances apply to every other area of your life, your health, your relationships, your love, your home. And then it's like, just like do less, accomplish more, right? It's like work on one area, impact all the other areas of your life. And I feel like you did that, like that was your experience with your doshas.
Totally. And I think it definitely the piece where it was like I had so much shame about like not going for promotions and like I didn't join moving into mastery the previous year. And I had so much shame about being a slower starter. And it was sort of made me get to this really comfortable place where it's like I do need to feel comfort and I need to challenge myself. And then if anyone is on the fence, this is just my personal experience, but like getting into a better place with these things helped me to get comfortable applying for promotion. I was promoted. I doubled my savings. I make like 30% more. And like, I know that's not all of the puzzle, but like, it's a nice part of the puzzle.
Yeah, like, I mean, let's just do that math real quick. Like, I don't know what you're making, but I bet that 30% increase in your salary is like much more than the investment that you made in moving into mastery.
Yes.
So,
And to be transparent, I was sweating the money last year. I was like, it was such a huge, like, I'm investing this in myself. And it was, it was really scary. And so like, I feel for anyone who feels that fear right now. But like the tools that I got in it helped me to like up level in so many ways, including financially.
and let's speak to that for a minute because there's something to that, like the sweating it, we're like, I'm sweating it right now. And then what you said right after that is like, I'm investing this in myself.
Yes.
Part of that is like you having skin in the game, because without that skin in the game, like who the is gonna go and do hundreds of hours of online training unless you're like, I pay for this, like I am gonna get the value of it. And the course is like, it's not doing you any good sitting on your computer, right? Like I didn't make the course so you could have it on your computer screen. Like, yes, I love money, I love making money, but if I wanted to make a lot of money and that's why I did what I do, like I would do something else. Right? Like I teach this because I want you to have these tools. I want you to implement these tools. I want you to eat in accordance with your body type. I want you making more money. I want you having better sex. I want you being more creative. So like I want you to take this course. And so it needs to cost you something, right? You need to feel this investment because otherwise you're not going to do it.
And I have taken online courses before and they have sat on my computer. So I completely agree. Like I was sweating it. And that investment was what drove me to actually do the work and show up for my accountability group and help them stay with the work too.
Yeah, beautiful. Great. Anything else you want to share before we open it up?
I had this note that I just had was like that the foundations shifted my lens and the relationships shifted my behavior.
Ooh. Yeah, I love that. That the foundations module shifted your lens on reality and the relationships module shifted your behavior.
Yes.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah.
And by the way, y'all, just a friendly warning. Mastering your relationships is not a joke. It is not a joke. It is full out. I brought on my life coach, Lauren Handel-Zander from the Handel Group. and she ain't playing, y'all. Like she means business, and she's gonna call you out on your lies. She's gonna call you out on where you're cheating yourself. She's gonna like basically like hold you to radical account. And like the cool thing is that as you get more honest with yourself, as you uplevel your relationship with yourself, everything else gets better. So while we're not going to tell you how you have to take the course, I really do recommend starting with foundations and then starting with relationships, because that is like, it's just going to make everything else so much richer.
Well, funny thing is, I read her. I tried to read her book a few years ago, and I couldn't get past the first quarter of it. I was like,
it's very confronting.
Too much. But now with the twice a day practice, with all of the structure of the modules, I was like, okay, I can do this terrifying homework.
Just a little exercise, like write down every lie you've ever told.
That was
by the way, we're not going to make you do that inside of Moving into Mastery, but that is, look at, oh my gosh, she has me in your face. So she's like, no thanks. That's not a homework assignment inside of Moving into Mastery. It's just an exercise that she recommends.
Yeah, but even just the portions that she does have you do were so profound in like changing my behaviors, so that when we got to money, when we got to body, I felt like I was in more integrity. And it wasn't this like Herculean effort to be in integrity. I wanted to be in integrity. I was drawn to integrity.
Yes.
So
yes, it becomes like, I'm doing this because, like what Lauren says is that lying is not a morality issue, it's a happiness issue.
Yeah.
Right, like let's just make a t-shirt out of that. Like Lauren believes that everyone is liars, like, and which is true. Like we're all lying all the time, right? Like hyperbole, exaggeration. I just did it. We're all lying all the time. That was an exaggeration. Okay, that was hyperbole.
We all do lie. We all do lie.
But she believes that everyone is liars. So lying is not a morality issue. It's just a happiness issue, meaning that the more you clean up your lies and the more honest you are, the more happy you are. So it's like, to your point, it's like, it doesn't become a chore. You're like, oh, I know that as I do this work, as I'm in higher integrity with myself, I become happier. So it becomes my desire. Also, I just want to celebrate. There's been 2 miracles that have just happened during the activation. Stephanie said, I literally just received $10,000 deposit in my bank account at 4:12 p.m. during the activation. That's a first, you guys. Like, this was the first time I've ever done a money activation. So that feels exciting. And then someone else said, I literally did not have a way to pay for this today, not even a credit card. After this exercise, my boyfriend just came up to me, gave me his credit card and said, I believe in you, get in that course. So I'm just like what a beautiful, like real-time activation. Like abundance is everywhere all the time. But if we are so fixated on, I have to have this exact number at this exact time, and this is the only way. Like, and I'll share an embarrassing story for myself. I have lived my whole life having a great relationship with money. Like even as like a starving artist, even as like an unemployed actress on Broadway, I was always like, I have enough. I've always had enough. I've got, yes, I made $600 this week and I spent 400 of them on my rent and I have enough. And I've always had that. And it's a big testament to my mom, which I think given the fact that she grew up with so little, the fact that she allowed me to feel such safety and security about abundance is a huge attribute to her. So shout out Margie, thank you. But I've always had a great relationship with money. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to be responsible. I'm going to like be an adult and I'm going to learn about money. And I introduced myself to the concept of financial freedom. And I was like, oh, financial freedom means that you live off of your like passive income, that all of your living expenses are covered by your passive income. And so then I was like, okay, I need to have X amount of money in the bank account so that my living expenses are covered by passive income. And then I never have to work a day in my life. And that concept of financial freedom put me in such a prison around money. Like I stressed myself out so much around money because I was trying to get to some magical number in the bank account so that I never had to work a day in my life. You guys, I love working. Like I love my job. I love teaching. Like why would I want to get to a number that keeps me from doing the thing that I love? And I'm just naming the hilarity of the mental constructs of like, oh, I put myself in less freedom. I put myself in more of a prison because I was trying to achieve what someone else defined freedom as. And so I'm naming that because one, like I put a lot of these lessons inside of money because like I've made a lot of these mistakes and I don't want you to have to. And I want to just make sure that you have the unchanging laws of nature so that you can define what financial freedom is for you, right? Like, what does abundance feel like for you? Because that's the only thing that matters. Okay. Any other final questions? You want to put them in the chat before we wrap it up? And then, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to leave, and then Caroline's going to come on, and you're going to ask all your real questions. Because everyone saves all her real questions for like, is it really this? So anything else for me before I go get my son from school? His last day of school. It's his last day of kindergarten today. I'm feeling some bittersweet emotions. I'm feeling delighted for him and sad. You know, it's just like, he's not a little boy anymore. And I love his teacher so, so much. Wait, let me go in this chat here. Okay. Some people are saying, so yeah, it feels like if there's two issues that we see, like two themes coming up for folks, there's one is like the fear of the investment, right? Like, will I get the return on investment? Like, will this be worth it financially? And then the other fear is not even worth it. I think people know it's worth it, but there's like, do I have enough? That's one fear. And then the other fear is like, will I fail at this? Like, will I actually do it? Will I actually commit? Will I actually graduate? And so I just we've spoken to the money quite a bit, but let's speak to that piece of, I'm afraid I'm not going to commit. I'm afraid I'm not going to take the time. I'm afraid I'm not going to graduate. And the thing that I want to say to that is manyfold. We have a lot of things in place to set you up for success. One is that we're sending you the course like right away. Okay, so you can dive in with this enthusiasm, with this passion. I would just do 2 modules, like I'm not doing 2 modules, but like do 2 lessons right away. Like do foundations right now, do it tomorrow. So you like build on this momentum and this newness while the investment is fresh. And then you're gonna start to see that like, oh my gosh, this is so rich that it's like, if all you've been eating is sweet tarts or like candy all day, and then you eat like a steak or you eat like a nourishing home cooked meal or like root vegetables from your garden, and it feels like nourishing sustenance from the earth. That is how this knowledge feels. Like there's so much like in the school of Instagram, and everybody's a wellness expert these days. And like, you know, everybody's got a 5 easy tips to whatever. And it's just like eating sweet tarts. You know what I mean? And there's so much candy, so much information candy that's free. But guess what? If the product is free, then you the product, right? If the product is free, then you are the product. And so people are competing for your attention. They are selling you things. And right now, like, yes, I am selling you something. But once you invest in this course, it's like this knowledge becomes nourishing sustenance. And once you start to receive it, you're going to want more. I have listened to the Vedas. Like when I first started studying this, I would take the courses again and again and again, live recordings as much as I could, because it felt like coming home. Actually, I wrote a poem. I'll see if I can remember it by heart. I don't think I have it here. But the first time I went to India, I wrote a poem, and it's called Vedopanishad. And it's a poem about the Vedas. Upanishad is a Sanskrit word that means like a poem, where the theme is that there's only one thing and we're all it. So Veda Upanishad is a poem about the Vedas. And it said something along the lines of, once you come back to me, it's as if you never left. And then the amazing thing is not this amazing knowledge, but that I managed to forget. And that is what this knowledge feels like. Like once you get it, it's like a returning home. You're like, oh, I've always known this to be true, but now I have an intellectual framework to put around it. And so it's not really new knowledge. It's like in you already, but it will wake up these ancient parts that have always been alive inside of you. And once you get going on that, you're going to want to keep drinking from that well. Also, the things that we have in place to keep you committed are manyfold. Like I said, we're going to send you the course right away so you can ride this wave of enthusiasm. We're going to do a live call. The team and I are going to do a live call with you in August. So it's like you can take this summer, treat this like you're reading Summer List. If you're flying or at the beach, you can just have this on as your like podcast. If you're on a road trip with your kids, put in your headphones and listen to this, you know, as you're getting up in the morning. And then in August, we're going to do a community call, we're going to do a kickoff call, and we're going to help you find your accountability groups, which we recommend groups of 4. Also, you're going to have instant access to the Facebook group and the WhatsApp groups. If you want to go ahead and form those accountability groups on your own, you can, but really rely on that. And I would say rather than going by location, like find people that are like, oh, I want to do the whole course in a year. So find other people that are like want to do it at a similar pace as you, or you know what, I'm just going to drip feed, or you know what, I really want to start with money, or I really want to start with body. But either way, just find like 4 people, because inevitably like one of you is going to get busy. You know, someone else might have a wedding or something. So the 4 is like a good number, because you're always going to have at least one person who's in there with you at the same time. And really rely on that group, and then set a schedule for yourself. Like, I'm going to dedicate 2 hours a week, and then put it on your calendar. And then, like I said, we're going to have the Facebook group and the WhatsApp group. And then if you are someone who wants to do this in a year, we're going to send you like a week by week syllabus where you can like jot it out and be like, okay, if I want to do one module every 6 weeks for the next year, this is what that looks like time investment wise. Okay. Magdalena, I think Magdalena just got here. I was so late. This is recorded. So yes, you will receive a recording of this. So if you want to receive that knowledge that we did at the beginning, if you want to do that activation again, we will send you a recording. But we are going to turn this off in just a moment. So those of you who do want to take advantage of abundant sleep, now would be the time. And then the early bird discount will be in place until June 28th. When you go to checkout, you don't need to enter any codes. The abundant sleep will not show up on the page. We're just going to email that to you. The system knows that you were here, and it'll send that to you automatically. Yeah, great. Okay, I'm going to go get my son from school. Caroline, if you have a few minutes to stick around and answer questions, that would be great. I love you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you for an amazing day. I don't think I've ever had so much fun teaching a live event like this. So it really felt fun, and that is a huge testament to all of you and your attention and your state of consciousness. So I'm so excited for this year's class of mastery already. I love you, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you inside the course.
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today. Does anybody have any last minute questions? Did you want to raise your hand? Be happy to